Hi, friends. Welcome into this Thursday of the Fur. My name is Patrick. That is Danny. Our last names are Harris and Meringue. Thank you for joining us today. We're almost there. You know me, every day is a celebration to get to Friday. Every day is a celebration.
There you go.
Every day is a celebration. You hear these guys yelling this morning about Hood River and pears and a bunch of weirdos.
You pro pear?
I'm pro pear.
I don't think I've ever actively been like, you know what I want? A pear.
Except for I'll fight anybody about apples, dude, from the great state of Washington.
Look, I'm pro Cosmic Crisp.
I can't eat apples though, dude.
Why?
The something about the acidity in the skin gives me like debilitating heartburn.
You sound kind of like a child.
I am kind of like a child in that sense. I don't eat like a child though. I don't. No, I eat great. I eat a lot of great fun stuff. I eat a lot of vegetables.
I eat like a child.
I know you eat like a child.
But I do vegetables.
What kind of veggies?
Do some broccoli. I'm a broccoli guy. Green beans, asparagus.
I had broccoli.
Salad.
I had broccoli and Brussels last night.
No, I won't do Brussels sprouts.
My kids won't do Brussels
They can
either.
get right the hell out of here.
So it's like the wife cooked both of them, and I had this steaming pile of giant mound of Brussels sprouts on my
that
plate
sounds
last
about
night.
the right way to describe those.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's a steaming mound.
There were like 2 pieces of broccoli in there. And I was like, man, this is disproportionate over here. Look over at my kids, and they got all the broccoli. I love Brussels, so it doesn't matter to me.
I'm pro broccoli. I'm definitely Brussels sprouts and asparagus are two things that I don't get down
Asparagus numero uno.
with. No.
I like asparagus.
Yeah, baby.
Nope.
A lot of it is because I look forward to that post-asparagus urination.
Yeah. There are also other things post asparagus that are supposed to be nice as well.
Yeah.
In the pineapple world, if
Yeah.
you catch my drift.
I'm not down with the asparagus. And so as I've gotten older, things that I didn't like, I have gone back and like given them another try. Multiple times.
I hate pineapple, and I do that about every 5 years. I taste pineapple, like fresh pineapple.
Yeah, I cut one up the other day. It was, it was good.
And it's just not me.
No,
No.
it happens.
There's lots of
No.
other fruits I'd choose before pineapple.
It's a pure flavor thing for me.
Yeah.
Are you guys mushroom eaters?
Yes.
Yeah. When I always grilled up with onions.
Oh, they're like a tandem.
Yeah. If like I'm always onion.
They're like LeBron Kyrie.
Yeah, I'm always onion, but every now and then it's onions and mushrooms.
Well, I like a good sautéed mushroom.
I
Yeah.
love a good sautéed mushroom.
Yeah.
There are a few things that's like nearly everything I cook has either peppers and or onions sautéed in with it. It makes everything better.
I mean, everything is onions and garlic
Yeah.
for me. Everything.
Yeah, that's the other one.
I finally got back to the peppers. There were like no peppers in my household for a long time because like nobody wanted them. And
Really?
Now I just force everybody to eat them.
Look, man, like I wasn't a bell pepper guy growing up, but I don't know what changed. I just like started. I think honestly, as funny as it was, I think it was either Panda Express or Chipotle. They accidentally put it in on one of my orders, and I was like, eh. And I ate them. I'm like, you know what? That's pretty good. And I started doing it at home.
I kind of like
That
the
was, like, probably
sweeter
10 years
ones,
ago.
like your reds and your yellows
Oh
and
yeah,
your oranges.
I don't do the greens.
Yeah.
The greens aren't my favorite. I'm a big red bell pepper guy, but
I think what I love about peppers the most is you can eat them raw or eat them cooked, and everywhere in between is still good.
yeah.
You know, like not everybody loves raw onions. I'm down with raw onions, but not everybody is.
No, thank you.
But it's like from the beginning to the end, your story's good.
Raw red onion on a burger, totally fine.
Nope. Get
Oh,
right
yeah.
the hell out.
Yeah.
And I'm diehard red onion too, over white or yellow.
See, I love a sweet onion.
Oh, see, and I'm just racist towards
There
them
you
all. Reds for life.
Yeah.
See, but like if we're cooking, when you're
Reds.
starting with
Walla
your garlic
Walla?
and onion base, we go with the white onion.
Walla Walla onions are fantastic. Where's Walla Walla?
Like southwestern or southeastern Washington.
Oh, right, Washington, the greatest state
Yeah.
in America. I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah, I just wanted to remind you.
God, I fell right
Yeah,
into
dude,
that.
fell right into that.
Right into that.
You got lentils just above onions, and then you got apples just above that, and wheat all around it.
Where is Washington a big lentil state?
Big lentil state.
not know that.
Eastern Washington and western Idaho. Tons of lentils.
That makes sense. It is the high desert, high plains.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
fantastic.
I do love a good lentil soup.
Did I not tell you there's a giant lentil festival every year in Pullman, Washington?
No, I don't think so.
Don't think I've ever heard that
Oh yeah,
before.
no,
No.
yeah. They do like a big chili cook-off. There's like a 4-person parade that goes through, the 2 blocks of downtown. It's pretty great.
Lentil.
The whole 5
festival,
minutes.
It's like a live music. It's usually like my boy Cody Beebe, if you know him up in the Yakima area. It's usually like him playing out there for the last 20 years.
huh? Oh man.
Small town life, dude. Small town life.
You guys are hyped for the Lentil Festival this year? Oh yeah, no, I picked up my outfit.
I would go back to school early because it was like the week before school started. So like I'd always go back early.
Is it like a potluck kind of situation? Like, what do we got here?
It's like it's almost like a Saturday market type
Okay.
event. Okay, so there's like some vendors around. There's like a chili cook-off. There's live music. It's cool.
I can get down with that.
I love a good party.
What's that?
That is somebody outside seeping through Jeff Russ's
Oh, okay.
door.
I heard a what sounded like a dying animal.
That's what we call a sprague in the wild.
Is that? Oh, crikey!
Check out the wild sprague in his natural habitat,
Oh,
looking for a nap after he has his breakfast burrito.
right. And is that your drink?
That is mine.
Okay. I was like, did he leave his drink in here?
No, that is
what are you
mine.
drinking?
That's a protein shake.
Okay. What flavor are we working with here?
Chocolate. I don't like the vanilla ones.
It's fair. Do you have to chew on it?
No,
Okay.
no, you do not. Actually, I don't even think it's got real milk in it either. Too. I think it's a dairy alternative.
Almond milk?
I don't know. Let's find out here.
Do you have to refrigerate it?
No, it is real milk, dude. No wonder this thing makes me poop all the time. Oh, it says it's lactose free.
So is it real milk then?
It says ultra filtered skim milk,
Oh, all right.
water and cream. Well, how is there cream and milk in this,
Wait,
but
wait.
no lactose?
You said you don't have to refrigerate it?
It says, oh, you definitely have to.
Okay, I thought
well,
you didn't.
no, you don't have to. I get this at Costco, and it's not refrigerated.
How is that possible?
I don't know, man.
That's why you're pooping all the time.
Probably.
Because they've got like at Costco too, their little Kirkland brand, like the chocolate milks and stuff, and they're not kept refrigerated.
Yeah, I mean, like there's milks in cartons, in like the boxes, in dry storage at the stores. Yeah. You guys don't have fallout shelters?
I currently do not have
No,
one. No.
I'm not a full-on prepper, but I do have a go bag and stuff.
That's the least surprising thing ever.
Yeah. How many guns are in that go bag?
Well, that's a different bag.
You got 2 bags?
Look, we have bags for the long rifles. We have bags for the pistols.
2 guys doing one job. We got to do something about that.
I do have one for my long rifle that slides into my other go bag. So
Yeah, kind of like you always see in like zombie movies.
Yeah.
Somebody goes to the cop station, they've got a big duffel bag, and the shotgun slides through the handles.
yeah, it's the same thing.
I've always
But
wanted.
mine's on the side of the bag.
I've always wanted to build like a fallout bunker, like a end of the world bunker.
Well, it's actually the easiest way to do it is go buy a decommissioned silo in like North Dakota, South Dakota. You can buy what was actually like an ICBM silo, and
But
people turn them into houses.
I want to like in my backyard, like where the dog runs around and my kids play, but underneath it is
Sure.
secretly a bunker. But I don't want it for like end of the world days.
Just want a man cave.
I just want a man cave
Okay.
that nobody knows about. Now, if the end of days does come, then I'm down there with a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah.
I probably just need a place to smoke weed. That's probably all it is.
Well, make sure your air filtration's good.
Well, duh, it would have everything.
Burned
This
up
be
oxygen.
like you ever watch 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Oh yeah.
I want something like that, like a
Okay.
house down there.
Okay.
I mean, okay, I'm about to tangent serious. Realistically,
What was the Brendan Fraser movie?
Ugh.
God, it was Brendan Fraser, Christopher Walken when he Alicia Silverstone. God, what was that?
Oh, I
stupid
don't know,
movie?
but now I want to watch this movie.
Yeah, he goes down like
Oh yeah,
like
I know what you're talking about
like a
now.
meteor hits in like the 60s, but like they think it's a nuclear bomb and they stay in the shelter for like 40 years and Fraser's raised in it.
Blast from the past.
That's
there we
it.
go.
Yeah.
I did see that movie.
Fun little movie.
You know what I really, really want? I really, really want to retire out in like Stevenson in Skamania area, up in Gifford Pinchot, in a hobbit hole.
You're just making up words now.
I want to live.
Skamania, Gifford Pinchot.
I want to live in a hobbit hole.
Okay.
Like it's just like a mound on the top, but it's buried underneath.
Just retire with your
multiple-
people.
Yeah, just different rooms for different things.
They
all
have that in Grants Pass.
Every time
Self-insulated?
every time I see the Gifford Pinchot sign, I have to say it in my head like Pincho, like Bronson Pinchot.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they've got like Hobbit houses in Grants Pass.
Yeah, you can buy kits online to help build them.
I'm just like, you don't have to do that.
But it sounds nice. I mean, you're insulated because of the ground, so
Sure.
you save money on heat.
Mhm. You're also under the ground.
That sounds great.
You are a hobbit.
I got the feet for
Wait,
it.
no, it was underground ones of the dwarves, right?
The dwarves live in caves.
Yeah.
Hobbits live in holes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like bears versus moles.
Mm.
Bears live in caves.
Yeah.
Moles live in the ground.
Yeah, I'm more bear. You're more mole.
Well, dwarves, they were kind of reigning supreme over the land there, over Middle Earth.
There you go.
The hobbits, they were just
there.
fun little folk.
Yeah.
Fun little folk that
Roving band of nomads.
that just got fat and drunk all the time. If that doesn't represent me, I don't know what does.
I like to rule.
I know you do. You look like a dwarf.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, I mean, they made the dwarves look really cool in the Hobbit
did.
movies.
What's the actor that played in Lord of the Rings?
John Rhys Meyers?
Yeah, love him.
Oh, yeah. Which is funny because he's like 6 foot.
Yeah, he's a bigger dude.
He's an Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And so, like,
Indy.
to make him, I said no horses, or he says no camels. And to make him a dwarf is pretty funny.
He's not Fisher Stevens brown face, but they did make him Egyptian.
They did make him Egyptian.
Like, what's
or North African of some set. Yes.
Which he is tangential, but like as much as Fisher Stevens gets it for the Johnny Five of it all.
I am standing here beside myself.
Yeah, that one's really bad, but Sean Connery as the Spaniard in Highlander is like the most egregious thing of all time because he doesn't even change his accent.
No.
Well, is that the most egregious one of all time, or is it John Wayne as Genghis Khan?
Oh, that's pretty tough.
That's pretty tough. Or Elizabeth
Taylor as the Egyptian Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie's great. I've watched that movie 1,000 times. I own it. It's like 3.5 hours long.
They all were.
Charlton Heston, I believe, is in that.
Was it Gone with the Winds? Like
no, it's
4
not,
hours.
It's not Charlton Heston. It's
It's not Brosnan.
No, it's.
dang it.
Oh, crap. I'll have to look it up in the break. Not important. Mokley Dokley, we got a show for you all today. We'll continue our travel around the NFL. Teams that have made the playoffs. We'll get to the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans today. Our good buddy Danny Cannell will join us at the 11 o'clock hour to talk a little college football. We'll talk about these college football playoff games. We'll get to Ducks, Indiana. Also, Ole Miss, Miami. Maybe we'll talk a little bit Damon Williams aftermath as well. What else?
Richard Burton and Rex Harrison.
Richard Burton is who I was thinking of. Rex Harrison is the bad guy. Richard Burton is Julius Caesar. No, Rex Harrison
is
Julius
Caesar, and Richard Burton is Mark Antony.
Yes, there you go. It is a 10 Toes Down Thursday, so it's 10 Toes at 12:15. You can get those submissions in. But let's start here in the association. The guy nobody wants goes to a team that nobody watches. How excited are you? Plus the Little Blazers, 105.1 The Fan. The Like I said, Danny Cannell will join us at 11 o'clock. We'll get some college football in, some NFL as well. It is 10:18 here on Portland Sports Leader. I hope you didn't forget. In case you did, we are live from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge. Why is it historic? I'm not sure, but I'm going with it. Sukanik and I talked about it once and decided to just roll with it. 503-864-6326 is the fan text line. Shout out to the YouTubers in the chat over there. They're getting down on TikTok conversations. So if you want to feel young or old, your decision. Cruise on over there. Something as we get into this Trae Young trade, Danny, we talked about Blazers and potential trade marketing, kind of glossed a little bit over the trade market in general in the NBA. Do you ever find it strange when trades happen and no draft compensations are involved? Because, in almost any sport, even in baseball where trades are super weird with minor league guys, there's always still, an unconditional first round pick or a compensatory pick or, sixth round swapping for a fifth, stuff like that.
Yeah. That was the hang up in that deal was Trae or the Wizards and Hawks talking about additional compensation.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of where that thing was headed last night. It sounded like the Hawks were trying to posture it a little bit, but it ultimately came down to just a straight player swap. It also goes to show you just how far Trae Young's just value was. I've been trying to say this for 2 years. His value is in the dirt.
Yeah, let's get into it. The Atlanta Hawks trade four-time All-Star Trae Young, who was at one point their centerpiece of their franchise. Took him to an Eastern Conference Finals. He gets packed and sent to the Washington Wizards. I
like Witters.
For Corey Kispert and C.J. McCollum.
There you go.
What's extremely fascinating about this trade, you nailed it. It's that his value is completely in the tank. And, CJ's life post-Blazers has not been a sexy story.
He's played for the Pelicans, Wizards, and now at least he gets to go to the Hawks.
Yeah, he might get flipped again, as the Hawks are looking to maybe flip these dudes to the Mavs to try to get Anthony Davis. This whole thing reeks to me of just, I don't want these guys. Oh, I don't want this guy. You want to just swap problems and let them expire on their deals and let somebody else deal with them? And you don't see that a whole lot in other sports. It feels like the NBA is quicker to just kind of say, you know what, I'm done with you. And now that's kind of the new age of the NBA. Well, we talked about it yesterday with like the Jonathan Kumingas of the world, and you always mention LaMelo Ball in this conversation too. The NBA is weird in the sense that there are guys who can obviously play basketball.
There is a sliding scale of good to putting up with somebody, which we see in the NFL, like you put up with crazy for a certain amount of times, but because of the aprons now and how prohibitive they are, if you have somebody on it's a sliding scale, not just of like attitude and stuff that you have to put up with or things that you struggle with to build a team, but if financially it becomes so punitive, like $50 million, it's just like, I don't care.
I just don't know any other sport in which somebody can clearly play the sport, but can't play the sport. You see what I mean? Like wide receivers, like you can be Tyreek Hill or Rashee Rice and have this
because they don't have to play defense
drama off the field. But or like a Myles Garrett when he swung a helmet at Mason Rudolph. Like you can have crazy people off the field, on the field, but they still play football.
Yeah,
and they're still good at football and have a place for it.
It's much more specialized. Where in the NBA, it's not specialized.
You have to be able to do both.
Well, especially at $50 million. So
baseball, we can hide you at a DH.
There's not only that,
or in right field.
There's a massive swing for size in the NBA. We got small ball is dying.
Sure,
it is dying. Just look at how big the NBA is right now. Think about every team. Think about the game last night between the Blazers and the Rockets and how big those teams are.
That was not a small basketball game.
Like everybody's big.
Well, and what do we say? Oh, Steph Curry is small. How tall is Steph Curry?
Steph is 6'4".
That's not small.
No.
Dame is small on TV. He's not small.
Dame's 6'3". So that's actually kind of where we're going to go with this. If you are smaller, like Dame's not a great defender. That's fine. But Dame's a truck. Like physically, he's not going to get bullied.
Well, it's the conversation that they have about Luka a lot these days.
Luka's one of the strongest guys in the league.
but his defense is cheeks.
But if you put in a position,
it outweighs.
he's 6'8", 270 pounds. He's difficult to deal with. But the death of the small guard is very much here, and unless you are a superstar, okay, these are guys that are 6'4" and under in the league right now who are superstars: Maxey, Mitchell, Brunson, Steph, Norm Powell.
I mean, Brunson feels like I don't know technically if he is, but he feels like the smallest of all them. But think about how big he plays.
But Maxey weighs like $185. He's just so skinny. But Brunson, like you said, is a little truck. But defensively, Brunson's bad.
Really bad.
He's so the Blazers last night they hunted Reed Shepherd mercilessly with Denny Avdia.
Because you're looking for that matchup, and I guess
but basically what I'm saying with all these guys, you get into De'Aaron Fox, John Morant, Darius Garland. You have to be special. That's the thing. All the guys I just named: Maxey, Max Steele; Mitchell, Max Steele; Brunson, Max Steele; Curry, Max Steele; Fox, Max Steele; Trae Young, Max Steele; Ja, previous Max Steele; CJ's on a $30 million contract; Garland's on a $40 million contract. After you get past those guys, then you just see it fall off a cliff and how much guys are getting paid. And if you drop this down to 6'1" and under, those are the truly special guys, like Brunson. Brunson is special,
right? Not my Huckleberry, but clearly talented, and that's why he is who he is. But once you get, of all those dudes that you said, kind of around that Brunson area, the Maxies, the Garlands, etc.
Mitchells, yeah.
Those guys are pieces that win you championships.
Yes.
They might not have championships.
They're all-stars and all-NBA guys.
Without a doubt. And you have to be special. And Trae Young, the reality is that Trae Young hasn't been special for a very long time. And dare I ask, was he ever?
He was, but here's the other thing.
Cool tournament. Cool little player at Oklahoma.
And he obviously took the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals and all that kind of stuff. But
do we think we're getting Steph Curry because he's a cool little player at Davidson?
But here's the problem, though.
Davidson, excuse me.
Yeah, he's not an efficient scorer. He's never been a great three-point shooter. He's been a volume three-point shooter, but he's never been efficient. But they kind of tied him together because he would take deep threes. He wasn't a great rim finisher. He's a great creator and organizer. As a playmaker, he's one of the best passers in the league. But the problem is he's very selfish. His teammates over the years have hated his guts.
It's been pretty apparent this year in Atlanta.
Yeah, they finally they changed management. Salah took over, and they were like, okay, this has got to happen. Schlenk. So Travis Schlenk is the AGM of the Wizards. He's the one who drafted Trae. So if you're wondering where that tie-in comes from, there you go.
Yeah.
And that's how this stuff always ends up working. Somebody has a relationship somewhere where somebody actually, I want this guy, blah, blah, blah. But with Trae, his stuff outweighed his production, and he's the worst defender in the league at that price point by just leaps and bounds.
And that's what's interesting to me. When his deal expires, apparently there was some talk that he only wanted to get traded to a team who was going to pick up his deal. I don't know.
Minnesota and Brooklyn were his preferred destinations. And then when he found out that those teams did not want to offer anything for him, nor do they want to pick up his option, all of a sudden Washington was number one all the time. Now,
I know.
Whether or not, so there's a couple different ways.
Nobody in their life has ever said Washington is my destination.
So Washington can do one of two things here. They can pick up his option. I guess one of three things here. They can just pick up his option, or they can pick up his option and extend him, or they can not pick up his option and work on an extension that way. I tend to believe, just after talking to people last night, that the likelihood is they'll pick up his option, but they'll re-sign him for significantly less and be like, look, we'll pick up your $50 million option, but that's going to be basically a part of your next deal. And you're going to get 30. Now he'll probably get 28 to 30.
Well, that's what I'm curious. When does it start to get to a point when John Morant becomes a free agent, when LaMelo Ball becomes these players that we continually talk about, Zach LaVine, who I don't think is disliked as much as, LaMelo and Ja and Trae are, but these players who are going to command this kind of money, it's going to be a pretty big sticker shock when they realize nobody's going to pay them that.
It's happened to all of them recently.
And it's going to be a very dramatic moment for the NBA. Now, TV is going to love it, but it's going to be, the answer is going to be guys, you're just not worth the money.
And in the past,
and Trae might be the first domino.
And before the aprons, you got hit with just give them the money. If you were if you were a top 30 player, basically, you just got the money. You're next man up. It's kind of like the NFL. If you're the next quarterback up, you get paid.
It's maybe the negative of the hometown max that you can give that was created to help
Incentivize
keep superstars in their markets.
But
that
meanwhile,
are
the
drafting.
apron makes it worse now. It's like they need to add some additional maneuvering in that. But the problem is, the second you do that, then it has unintended consequences somewhere else, and blah blah blah.
Like LaMelo is not a player I'm interested to have on my team. But how do you sell the Charlotte Hornets fan base that your best player, quote unquote, you're going to let him walk?
I mean, ESPN wrote an article, I want to say about a month ago, talking about they had scouting reports basically from GMs and executives around the league around those three guys, around Trey, Ja, and LaMelo. And one of them was like, LaMelo's talented, but he's got the brain of a high schooler. Like, he plays basketball like a high school player. Like, he doesn't care.
Like we're at the Y?
Yeah, like he's at Chino Hill still. And it's like, that doesn't fly in the NBA. There's no doubt about the talent, but like, he just doesn't care in that sense.
And Ja has the wrong people around him.
And other issues.
And Trey is just kind of exposed.
And that's the thing is, like, it's such a dumb thing, but being a guy that players like matters.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Like, it matters, man. It genuinely does. Like,
if you're not winning titles, do you think those guys love Draymond?
Yes, because they do love him.
Okay.
God, I just totally lost it. There's another guy. The guys just love, Kyrie. Players love Kyrie.
I love Kyrie.
Like, they love Kyrie. It's unabashed within the league because because they like him, they go to bat for him. Like, they just do. Even though he can be moody and he can be weird, they love him.
The media does that too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know how little and I don't think we should kill him because the other side production is so great, but you know how little we've ever really killed Dame for not being a great defender? Yeah. It's mentioned. It's footnoted.
Yeah.
It's aware, but we don't kill him for it. Why? Because we like him.
You like him, and he's, at his peak, was one of the best pick-and-roll offensive engines in the history of the league.
If LeBron James wasn't cringy at times, most of the time, he'd be considered the greatest player of all time. Yeah. You know, Michael's a jerk, but he gets away with it because he was always a jerk. But in today's world, the media wants nice guys. Dude,
everyone loves Clay.
Dude, Kurt Schilling's not in the Hall of Fame because he's a jerk.
Yeah.
That guy's a Hall of Fame pitcher. It matters today, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so if you don't have the stuff, or you have some limitation or something around that, and guys just don't like you, it becomes problematic.
I have to imagine both these guys are going to get moved again, right?
Who?
McCollum and Kispert.
No, they'll keep Kispert, and CJ's contract's expiring.
So just let it ride out.
And don't pay attention to the Hawks. They're going after Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering if those two would be part of it and let Dallas get out of some financial woes with AD and just pick up those expiring contracts to make it work, or are they going to go after picks?
Oh, they'll probably get that pick. They won't get the Pelicans pick. That won't happen.
Nobody's allowed to touch that. That's one of the dumbest things I've seen in a long time.
The two things that
I like Derek Queen, but I don't know if I like him that much.
The two things that are entirely off limits from the Atlanta Hawks are Jalen Johnson and that pick.
Yeah.
Other things can be discussed. Those two things, untouchable.
Especially coming into this draft. This draft's going to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stick in the association. Let's come home for a little bit as your Portland Trailblazers defeat the Houston Rockets 103-102. That is a winning streak. A lot of cool stuff going on in this game. A lot of not sexy basketball at times.
Rock fight.
But definitely a rock fight. Let's get to the Blazers next. But first, the Kahuna with sports.
That's that Hawaiian burger joint.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, the college football playoff semifinals begin this afternoon with the Fiesta Bowl in Glendale, number 10 Miami and number 6 Ole Miss. It's a 4:30 kick on ESPN. Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland starts at 4 o'clock. The Hurricanes are 3-point favorites. We're a little over 24 hours away from number 5 Oregon and number 1 Indiana in the Peach Bowl. That'll be a 4:30 kick as well on ESPN. Our coverage on the Fan Sports Network begins at noon tomorrow. Ducks game day with Dirt and Anthony Newman from the Washington Square Thirsty Lion. The Ducks are 3.5-point dogs. CBS Sports, Chris Hummer reporting former Florida quarterback DJ Lagway committing to Baylor. Over in the NFL, the Dolphins announced they fired head coach Mike McDaniel after a 7-10 season, their second straight losing campaign after making the playoffs in 2022 and 2023. And in the association, the Trailblazers have indeed won 4 straight, 6 of their last 7. They're off today before hosting the Rockets again tomorrow. Portland currently 18-20 on the season. That is 9th in the Western Conference. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Russ from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for Seahawks football. The Fan Sports Network. 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Jump into the NFL as we take a look at all the teams in the playoffs. We'll start with the Chicago Bears in about 15 minutes. Danny Cannell, our good buddy, joining us at the top of hour number deuce. We'll talk some college football with the former quarterback. Maybe we'll talk a little Damon Williams. I might ask him a Dante Moore question. He is a quarterback after all. But let's stick in the association. Trailblazers defeat the Houston Rockets 103-102. That's 4 in a row. Danny, you said it best coming into the break last that this is a rock fight. No Trae Youngs on the floor last night.
No.
Big people only allowed on the floor. I mean, part of that is Part of that is that the Blazers don't have any guards.
Yeah.
So there just aren't naturally smaller people. But this is something I've kind of said since the beginning of the year, why I like Houston so much. No Şengün out there, but still, there is a lot of size out there for Houston.
I mean, Houston's out there with, 7 foot Steven Adams, 7 foot Kevin Durant, 6'10 Jabari Smith Jr.,
And 3 players that play completely different games.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you've got 6'7, Tari Eason. You've got 6'6, 6'7, Amen Thompson.
You can pull Clint Capella off the bench.
Yeah, they're just a big old team, and that's without Alpi out there. They're just a big old team. But the Blazers, 2's 6'8, City's 6'7, Denny's 6'9, Donovan 7'3, Shaden 6'5, 6'6. Robert Williams is 6'10, Young 7'1. They're just the 2 really big teams. And what you saw last night with 2 stars going at it, Kevin Durant and Denny Avdia put on shows.
Mm-hmm.
KD just hit mid-range after mid-range after mid-range, just shooting. I caught. God, who was talking about it in the post game? It might have been Calabro. KD's just shooting over chairs. There's nothing you can do.
No, there's nothing. And that's
Wemby's the only guy who's challenging that.
KD. Is KD going to go down as the greatest scorer of all time?
For me, for my money, is. If you want to say Jordan, that's fine. But to me, KD's efficiency puts him number one, and not only that, there's nothing you can do.
And what's really fun is watching 2 superstars that score the ball really well.
Very differently.
Completely differently. That's exactly what I was going to say. KD can take a shot from anywhere on the court and drain it.
Yep.
It's the easiest thing in the world. To where Denny, I think
Got to work for it.
And I think that's something that when you're a team like the Portland Trailblazers, whether it's a small market or you're building to grow into something, you're not there yet. Mm-hmm. It's why Knick fans love Jalen Brunson. Yeah. They love somebody that's going to go work for it. And I know, there's, Eason is zebra, et cetera. I understand that. But look, I heard Sprague or Dirt, I don't remember who said it this morning, bring up James Harden. Okay, the conversation we always talk about, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. If the refs are going to call this stuff, then I don't have an issue with it. I don't like to think about free throw merchants. The difference between sometimes a Shai versus a Denny is lowering his head and bulldozing into the lane. And that's part of the game. That's kind of always been the game. You want to talk about 90s basketball and how great 90s basketball was. Dude, a lot of dudes in the 90s are going into the paint and getting stuck, and they don't do that.
No.
Once you try it once and you get hit by a Lambeer or a Barkley or a Rodman, you're like, I'm good on that.
And Denny dishes it out. He leads the NBA in and ones converted. Why? Because he's 6'9", 250 pounds, and he plays with force. That's the thing. Is you have to hit him. Hit him. But if you're going to hit him, you're going to put him on the line. That's he had 15 free throws last night, and that's because he leads the NBA in drives. And there's a ton of help defenders that are present. There's guys that are always reaching, and to Denny's credit, he's improved his handle. He's developed a couple different moves where it's not a rip through, but he wants to pull the ball through to the other side. And because he does it so tight to his body, you're going to grab his arm. You're going to grab his wrist. And over the last couple games, he's added this new move. I mentioned it on Twitter last night. He's got a new split dribble that he's going to a lot more, where he's driving with that same force and that ferocity. And he's been really good about going into that Euro. But now he's added another counter. The Euro is the deceleration, where he's changing speeds, changing gears, kind of banging through gears, revving the engine a little bit and keeping you guessing. Last night, he did it 4 or 5 times where it's a hard drive, explode out, and come to a stop on a dime, and it's a left-right cross between his legs. He turned Kevin Durant into a pretzel last night, and I went, damn, there's a scout sitting next to me. He goes, I don't think I've seen him do that.
Well, what did I say in the bullpen before the show? I was like, it's like your favorite Italian restaurant just put a chicken parm on the menu. You're like, ooh, I like that.
I like that.
I'm going to have one of those.
And then he's added the little in-between game. He had the post fade where he drove to the rim, spun back, and pulled up, and I was like, oh. He's adding things to his game now because he has to.
Well, and I think one thing that's benefiting him as well, as he's kind of really leaned into this point guard role of not just being the main scorer, but with Shaden's consistency shooting being better of late. You never know what you're going to get from Caleb Love, but if he can shoot that 3, and hell, Donovan steps out to the 3 every now and then, and Denny is able to see that, and that's what's happening. I think I don't know if teams aren't watching tape or if I'm creating hyperbole here or just being a fanboy for a second, but I think if teams look at the Blazers, they're probably saying, all right, let's shut down Denny and everything's fine. So Denny's running into the lane like he does, and if he's seeing guys like Shaden, Caleb, potentially Clingan out there in good situations, he's starting to dish it to them.
Well, the thing is,
because they're making it now.
well, except for last night, but, in general.
But in general, on a higher level.
Denny leads the league in potential assists, and that's because the Blazers just can't knock down threes.
Exactly.
But he only had 2 assists last night because they couldn't convert on his kickouts, and that was kind of the thing that kept. Well, that and the Houston Rockets rebounding nearly half of their misses. They had 24 offensive rebounds last night. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the league.
12 of 40 from downtown for the Blazers last
Yep.
night.
But the difference is the Rockets were 8 of 36. Like the Rockets ended up getting up 16 more shots and 4 more free throws.
No.
That's 20 more shooting possessions. That is a lot. And that's the only reason this game was close is because the Rockets were so good on the offensive glass.
I was going to say, do you think this was a bad night for the Rockets shooting, or do you think Blazer defense and rock fight mentality, whatever, came to play?
Both. You're going to have like both teams shot poorly. The Rockets shot 37%, the Blazers shot 43%. Neither team could hit threes, and neither team was great at the free throw line.
And I have to believe if Şengün plays, it's a different story.
It probably
He's
is.
just that good of a player.
But you're also, the Blazers are missing, 40 plus points off their bench, and just Drew and Jeremy.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah, if both these teams are healthy, I think it's actually a pretty good game. Now, I would still give the Rockets the advantage for sure.
Sure, that was kind of my big thing going into the season before kind of everything hit the skids, like looking at how this team was built. I wanted to know how they matched up against Houston, just out of curiosity, because I think Houston has been such a great story of how they're building that team, and the addition of Kevin Durant at the beginning of the season was what did it for me, because I'm on the Rockets wagon. But I think they will represent the West. I don't know if they'll win. Looking at the East now, I have to think who comes out of the West is the winner. But I've liked this Rockets team because of their size. And Amen Thompson looks good as a kid. And the addition of Kevin Durant and having a stalwart down below and Steven Adams is
remember, he's
how you win
backup.
titles. Yeah. I know.
So
it's nice.
But no, last night, the Blazers down 18-20. They're 2 games under 500. They're firmly in the 9 seed. Like they are handling business.
500 at home.
And about 2-3 weeks ago, when we kind of looked at the schedule, I was like, look, this is where they can get some wins. Now, I did not expect them to beat, the Celtics, Spurs, and Rockets in succession kind of a deal. But you figured, okay, you can get the games that you should get, the Pelicans, the Jazz, and can you steal one here or there and kind of get your way back into it? Yeah, that's what they've done.
Yeah, and it has to, because too much this year we've seen.
But when this team is healthy, I said they win 40 games.
Yeah.
Guess what?
There it is.
They're right there, even with all the injuries they've had. Like this is about as successful as you could hope for with the injuries they've had.
And I think you just bang your head because you see good games against teams like the Warriors and you see bad games against teams like the Pelicans with essentially the same personnel.
Because there's variance because they're shorthanded.
And everybody's tired, especially on big road trips like that. We'll keep eyes on the Blazers. They'll take on the Rockets again on Friday from the Moda Center. Let's step into the NFL. We'll keep looking at playoff teams for this year's playoffs, and welcome back to the show, my friends. Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams are the 2 seed. They will host the Packers in the playoffs. We'll get to the Bears next. 105.1 The Fan. I love B-Money on the YouTube chat. Anytime the Rockets lose, I'm happy. I don't want to sidetrack too much, but it was like it's a very strange thing for me liking this Rockets team to like have a good season this year and go on a playoff run.
Oh, I don't like the Rockets franchise, but they've got a lot of players I like.
Yeah, this team is really fun to watch. I'm with you, B-Money. Like the James Harden years, Chris Paul. Boy, you're talking about two players that are Hall of Famers that I have never, ever enjoyed. I did not enjoy James in college.
I love Chris Paul.
I did not enjoy Chris in college. I have never enjoyed them anywhere they've been in the NBA. Just not my guys.
Amen, Tari, Jabari, Alpi. Love that.
Yeah. That group is nice. Mm-hmm. That group is really, really nice. It is weird to root. Not root, but to kind of predict them to play well and kind of be excited.
I'll tell you right now, if you were in the building last night, you got served a Kevin Durant treat. 31 straight games of 20 or more against Portland.
Dude, you got 37 from KD last night and a Blazer win?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the classic.
And Denny went for his Blazer high, 41.
That's like the classic. I'm a Patriots fan, and we're playing the Colts this weekend, and I have Peyton Manning on my fantasy team, and I want him to throw 5 touchdowns, yet we somehow win. Mm-hmm. It's like it doesn't work that way. If Durant has 37, I'm going to assume Houston won.
Yeah.
Let's slide over to the NFL as we're taking our little walkabout in the NFL of teams headed to the playoffs. And welcome back to the playoffs, the Chicago Bears. First-year head coach Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, finally seeing some production that everybody's been screaming about. The pressure on Caleb is always going to be big. He's a number 1 overall pick. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He comes from a blue blood school, et cetera, et cetera. He comes from a coach in college that is a offensive guru, as they call him. Comes shy 58 yards as being the first ever 4,000 yards passer in Chicago Bear history. But it's funny how things can change just by a little bit more of a new voice.
Well, not just that, a new voice, a new style, a new system, and a new brain behind everything. I think Ben Johnson is obviously the biggest factor in all of this. Riddle me this. When was the last time the Bears had the 6th most productive offense in the league based on yards?
I'm going to go with never, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe Jay Cutler years. Like, Jay used to throw the ball around when they had Brandon Marshall.
But even then.
They still weren't very good.
They were 9th in scoring. The Bears were a top 10 unit in yards and points per game.
Well, they got a huge dual threat at running back. Mm-hmm. You know, they got a 2-headed monster there. And Caleb.
And Swift, yep.
Yeah, and Caleb, I don't want to say there's pressure on Caleb because there's not. He's still too young. This offense is still too new, and Ben Johnson just got there. But, boy, he's the quarterback I'm going to watch in the playoffs the closest.
Caleb threw for 4,000 yards.
Basically, yes.
27 touchdowns and 7 picks.
That's a good year.
If I throw that on the board and tell you that, are you taking it?
Of course I am.
Because there's...
With that running game?
Not only that, there's a lot of margin of error because Caleb's completion percentage this year was trash. It was 58%.
Dude, between 2 running backs, they had 1,800 yards rushing. My quarterback doesn't need to throw for 4,000 yards if I'm basically rushing for 2,000 yards in a season.
And you've got Roma Dunze, you've got DJ Moore, you've got Cole Kmet, you've got Loveland at tight. Like you've got weapons.
Loveland. Yeah, and I don't know what it is.
Loveland led them in receiving yards.
Yeah. I don't know what it is with me and Caleb. I think it's an unfair. I'm kind of moving the goalposts on him a little bit in the sense that he makes play. He's got a little Dante Moore to him. He makes plays that you're just kind of like, whoa, that throw was wow.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb makes a throw that Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and then it's like Caleb will pop in that list. You're like, that's the only other guy that can make that throw.
And there are times where Caleb seems to be moving too fast.
Yep.
Not as an athlete, but like slow down, bud.
Mentally.
Like, let the game come to you. And I don't know why I fixate on that. I did it with Trevor Lawrence too, of just kind of like
he's figuring it out,
and he's figuring it out too. So this team goes with Caleb. It's going to. Let's see. You look at their schedule over the year. They started kind of clunky. They lost to the Vikings, although we thought the Vikings might be good at the beginning of the year. Big loss to the Lions. You rattle off 4 in a row. You lose 1 to the Ravens. This team has been fairly consistent. It's not peaking at the right time. That Niners game was quite the shootout. And I think if there's anything that concerns me in the playoffs, it's probably where that defense is right now. That Niners offense you watch just get completely shut down by a Seahawks team. Now, that defense for the Seahawks is 1A, 1B, depending on Houston or Philly, whichever you're looking at.
That's the flip side of this is the Bears' defense this year has been cheeks.
Yeah, and that's my biggest concern. Also, in a rivalry game, yes, you get it at Soldier, but in a rivalry game with the Packers, all bets are off.
I mean, the Bears defense was 2 spots above the Raiders.
I hate to do this. I don't think the Bears are ready.
I don't think they're ready. I think they're taking a step for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. And Caleb is as well. I don't think they even have it in them to win.
Well, here's the flip side of this. The Bears.
I'm poo-pooing the Bears.
The Bears led the NFL in turnover differential.
And that's huge.
And that's because Caleb's not out there turning the ball over. The running backs aren't out there turning the ball over. They're plus 22.
And I'm probably a victim of the media, being hard on Caleb or super pro Caleb, that I'm either drinking the hater Kool-Aid or I'm sick of the lover Kool-Aid. You know, I mean, at this time right now, before we started the show, there was a guy on the air here that did nothing but slurp Caleb, and it got really, really old. Because it never felt like because of how good he was as a player. It felt like there were some other biases, and you know who I'm talking about. But I'll tell you what, if Caleb Williams goes into this game and throws 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, I might have to change my opinion.
Well, here's a little something to keep in mind.
Not fair to him, but this is a big game for me in my world of Caleb Williams.
Here are your top 5 teams in turnover differential this year. Bears 1, Texans 2, Jags 3, Steelers 4, Rams 5. What do they all have in common? They're all in the playoffs. Take care of the ball, turn the other team over.
It's the truth.
Now
it's carbon copy.
But it's also there's volatility in that because it's less predictable.
Yes, there are not a lot of constants in the NFL, but that is a constant. In college as well.
Take care of ball, turn other team over, you're going to win games.
You're going to win games. The Chicago Bears will take on the Green Bay Packers from Soldier Field.
Give me the Bears.
It's the night game on Amazon on Saturday. You'll take the Bears. I'll take the Packers.
What's the line in this right now? Green Bay 1.5.
Green Bay favored?
Green Bay favored 1.5.
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5. Over under 44.5. I'm gonna take the over on that.
That Rams number's gone up.
Oh, really?
It's 10.5.
Oh God. That scares me more.
I wasn't touching it at 10. I'm definitely not touching it at 10.5.
They just lost to him.
You're like, nah, I'm good, dog.
He got the ball.
10.5.
Sorry.
A big number.
I went all Gus Johnson on you. All right, we come back. Let's get out of here. Let's get Danny Cannell here. Talk a little college football next on The Fan.
It's Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Mixed plates like Grandma used to make. If your grandma were from the Big Island, Woodstock, Burnside, Beaverton, or online at ate-oh-ate.com. First on the Fan. The college football playoff semifinals begin this afternoon. The Fiesta Bowl in Glendale. It's number 10 Miami and number 6 Ole Miss. 4:30 kick on ESPN. Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland starts at 4 o'clock. The Hurricanes are 3-point favorites. We are a little over 24 hours away from number 5 Oregon and number 1 Indiana in the Peach Bowl. That'll be a 4:30 kick tomorrow afternoon on ESPN. Our coverage on the Fan Sports Network will start at noon. Ducks game day with Dirt and Anthony Newman from the Washington Square Thirsty Lion. The Ducks are currently 3.5-point dogs. And the Trailblazers have won 4 straight, 6 of their last 7. They are off today before hosting the Rockets again tomorrow. Portland 18-20 on the season, 9th in the Western Conference. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of prime time with Isaac and Sue. Weekdays 3 to 7. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, hour number deuce here. If you're missing the first hour, you can check that The Fan Podcast, 1051thefan.com, the Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcasts. Also over on the YouTubes, you can check us out there. If you missed the Sunrise Guys this morning, you can check that out. If you're not going to check Primetime, or if you're not in your car, you can check out Primetime on an Odyssey app or on the YouTube app. We are joined by our good buddy Danny Kanell. Check out betonline.ag for updated college football playoff semifinal game and champion lines, along with a plethora of college football props. Danny, thank you, as always, for carving time out with us in the Northwest. How are we today, man?
What is up, gentlemen? How we doing? It's got to be a great time to be around that Oregon Duck territory. Fired up to talk to you guys.
Life's not so bad up here. Whether we went to Oregon or not, those guys help pay our paychecks. So we're quite happy that they're here in the semifinals. Let's get right into it, Danny, about that. You look at this Peach Bowl, the rematch between Indiana and Oregon, and I think from a national perspective, it's very easy to fall in love with this Mendoza, Cignetti, IU situation going on, especially in the modern landscape of college football. Do you see this as just them as a wagon, or does the rematch possibility create something that other people may not be seeing?
Oh, I think it creates something people might not be seeing. I've felt all along that Oregon was being slept on from the off season and I know it's hard to say they're being slept on when I think they were, probably what were they, preseason number 7 or 8 in the rankings. So it was hard, but no one was really picking them to win the national championship. No one was picking them to win the Big Ten. It was kind of flying under the radar, and I thought they were being slept on. And I think at the end of the regular season, teams were like not even talking about them, and yet they get into the college football playoff. When they got in the playoff, I think people were like, they're not going to do any damage. I picked them to go all the way to the championship game. I picked them to win the national championship. So I am clearly somebody that's a believer in what Dan Lanning and the squad can do. So, yeah, I think absolutely. I think they're flying under the radar. I think they have a roster that's as talented as anybody. I think I thought from 12 teams, now down to 4. I think it's as wide open as I've seen it in there. For the majority of the season, it was, is Ohio State, that team? And then it was, would you take Ohio State or the field? And everyone's like, I might take Ohio State. Then Indiana beats them. It's like, is it Indiana or the field? And then what Indiana did to Alabama, it's like, oh, my gosh. Let me tell you, that Alabama team was so overrated. I loved Indiana in that game. I did not think that was going to be close. Now, I probably thought it would have been, 24-10 would have been a bit. I mean, they dominated. But, it was still there. And then I think the reason the Oregon is still being slept on is because they haven't been super impressive yet. At any point, like against James Madison, while they completely dominated, they gave up 3 touchdowns late and made the score. Like, all right, so it wasn't a super controlled blowout. I was at the Orange Bowl. I would have liked to have seen more from the offense, and so people are talking about that. But did anybody notice the defense pitched the shutout? Like, anybody talk about that? So. And they've had injuries all throughout. Now they've got an injury again with Davison out. So they've just been dealing with a lot. I don't think people have really taken them as a serious national championship contender. I do think they'll have to have their best game yet, but I'm betting that they're still going to get it because I don't think they've had a complete game, maybe all season long, that they've played great from start to finish on both sides of the ball. And I do also think they're good enough. We don't have to play perfect. But I do think against Indiana, they're going to have to have their best performance of the year.
Well, Danny, before we force you to talk about Miami, which I'm sure you love to do, you mentioned it, that Davison injury. Without Davison and with Jaden Lamar, 2 of their top 4 running backs are gone. When you look at what Oregon has asked Dante Moore to do this year, he's been very good, but at times he's been a very slow starter. When you look at this Indiana team and how they played Oregon in the first game, is this a game when you look at Dante? Does he have to be? I don't want to. You said they don't have to play perfect, but does this have to be like the most prolific Dante Moore game we've seen of him yet for them to win this?
He's going to have to be the sharpest. I don't think he has to throw it for 400 yards. I don't think he has to go out there and just put the team on his back, but he's got to play a little sharper, and that's the thing that concerned me. A couple interceptions versus James Madison. And, he started off – it's actually funny because he started off pretty strong against Texas Tech, and he was kind of, hit Sadiq a couple times, and, it looked like, oh, man, they could just score at will. And then just a couple careless – even the ball handling, the ball when he put it on the ground, it was like they just didn't look sharp. This game, he's going to have to, play a lot sharper. Like, that's to me is what he'll have to do. So, and the good news is – I do think Noah Whittington is somebody who can carry the load. So, but then I worry about De'Aaron Hill as a younger back. Then you worry about pass protections for, just a different back that's in there. That's what worries me about the running back position. But yeah, I do think Dante Moore does need to step up and does need to have a better game because, he's been the talk of college football, especially I'm watching SportsCenter this morning and get up and is it Mendoza or Moore? And I was talking about with my co-host on Sirius, Dusty Dvorak, and we're like, and don't take me wrong because I love him, but he is a little overrated from the production standpoint. I'll ask you guys because you guys are probably way more familiar with this. What's his best game where it was lights out, where it just wowed you?
What we tend to say is, against inferior opponents, Dante is very, very strong. I think one thing that a lot of people up here really get into is there's a throw against Penn State, a throw against Iowa, where you just go, wow, what was that? And I think that's kind of where people lie.
And that's kind of what I see too. And that's why I think people are excited. I would love to see a game where you go, wow. And I don't think you have to do that. Maybe it's against Miami or Ole Miss in the final. But another comp where CJ Stroud was a really popular quarterback coming out of Ohio State, and he didn't play, he didn't have that wow moment, but he did against Georgia, ironically in a loss that they lost on a last-second field goal in the Peach Bowl in the college football playoff that really opened up everybody's eyes and was like, okay, this guy looks, and then he goes number 2 overall. So I do think Dante has that in him. And granted, look how many injuries he's been dealing with, too, around him. The receiving core has been banged up. He's been playing with different guys. So I do think that has impacted it. And, again, I like him a lot. And that describes any quarterback. Go look at Fernando Mendoza's stats versus the better opponents. Bama, I do not consider one of the best opponents. So that's kind of an outlier. But in the Big Ten championship game, he wasn't spectacular. So I think that describes a lot of college quarterbacks. A lot of guys stat pad, it's just kind of part of the territory.
Yeah, he's Danny Cannell, courtesy of Bet Online. And one more quick thing, you kind of mentioned him before we get to the other game. It feels like there's a little more pressure on Dante Moore to perform at a higher level. Do you think Fernando Mendoza feels that? Or are we just, again, kind of in love with the Cignetti Mendoza story, which is maybe one of the best of all time in college football? Does he feel that same pressure, or is he playing house money?
I think he's playing a little bit more with house money. He won the Heisman Trophy. He didn't lose a game. His record is spotless on there. He did just beat Bama and lit them up. So I do think he's playing with a little bit of house money. But you guys know how this is. One bad game, and all of a sudden everybody turns on you. And then if Dante outplays him, I wouldn't be surprised if most draft gurus, you hear him tomorrow, or Saturday, talking about, Dante Moore's the number one pick. Why would you want Fernando Mendoza, who cratered on that stage? It's just that's life in that stratosphere when you're talked about as the number one or number two quarterback overall in the NFL draft. But I think both of these guys, I think both of them do a phenomenal job of don't letting the pressure get to them. All this ancillary pressure of, are you going to win a national championship? I think both of them, and they're totally different, personalities. I only met Dante for the first time, but I was blown away with how comfortable he was in his own skin, very mature, very calm, cool. And then you got Fernando, who's like America's choir boy. And I say that in a good way. I love him. He's like the perfect kid. But ultimately, I think both of them have really good foundations and the way they were raised, where they come from, their background, they are just very comfortable, where I don't think they rely on, I have to win this game in order to justify myself as a quarterback. I think both of them are really comfortable in their own skin.
All right, Danny, we delayed long enough. You got to talk about Miami here a little bit.
Yeah.
This Miami team comes in as the 10 seed in the playoffs, but they're favored in this game. Why? Why is Miami favored despite what we have seen from Ole Miss? Ole Miss's only loss in the entire season is on the road at Georgia in a game that they had control of. What is it about? I know it's the Lane Kiffin of it all, but why is this Ole Miss team still not getting the credit they probably deserve?
So again, full disclosure, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I did pick Miami and Oregon in the national championship game. So I've been very bullish on Miami. I get the question about Ole Miss. They're not their schedule, and I know they play in the almighty SEC where every game is like playing the 85 Chicago Bears. That's the narrative. Their schedule was one of the lightest out there. So their non-conference games were extremely easy. They had the Citadel, they had Georgia State, they had Tulane, and one other cakewalk, Washington State, who they actually struggle with, 24-21.
Ouch, Danny. Easy there. I'm alumni. Easy.
I'm sorry. Washington State played a bunch of teams tough. I know they had a pretty strong year. But then you go through the SEC slate, and they did beat Oklahoma on the road, which was really good. I think it's but they beat Florida, wasn't that good this year. LSU, coach was fired. Arkansas, coach was fired. Kentucky, there's a coach was fired. So I look at all of these and I'm just like, I think that's why they weren't the SEC team that went through the gauntlet. And even in the playoffs, they got through Tulane, which was kind of a pushover. Now, Georgia, that is a big win, but I think Georgia wasn't the Georgia they used to be. Mm. So I do think that's the reason. But watch out for Trinidad Chambliss, because that dude is special. I like Miami in the game, but Trinidad Chambliss is the wild card. I am betting that he doesn't have the type of game that he did against Georgia. If he does, Miami's going to get beat.
Danny, we'll get you out on this. In terms of the Miami Ole Miss game, there's a lot of chatter up here about Mario Cristobal, as you can imagine. From your perspective, because we can be in a little bit of a bubble up here, has the narrative changed on Mario, or does he need to get this one last? Did he just need to win a playoff game to kind of shed some naysayers, or should he get one more to kind of cement that what he's doing at Miami is for real?
I think he's silenced all the critics of one. I was one. I was very hard on him. I'm a Florida State guy. I just, I get all the late game decision making, the not taking a knee against Georgia Tech. In this year alone, his conservative style almost cost him a spot in the playoffs, because he should have beaten Notre Dame by more points, but he kind of sat in the lead. I was there in Tallahassee watching play Florida State. They were up 28-3, let off the gas. Florida State come back, and the score didn't look that like a blowout like it was. But you know what I think ironically helped them? The style points that they needed to get into this. At the end of the season, they had 4 games left, and they had 2 losses, and everyone's like, they have to blow out everybody. And they did, and they started throwing the ball in the fourth quarter, and it worked. I think that was a huge thing for Mario Cristobal to, like, maybe, I don't know if he learned it yet or if it, because he's been very conservative in this playoff because he hasn't had to be aggressive. But I do think even the most critical person of Mario Cristobal has been like, I didn't see this team going this far. So I think he is truly playing with house money. If they get beat against Ole Miss, I think it stings. But I think you're feeling really good about the future and feeling like, all right, we've got our guy. He can bring this place where we want to go.
He's Danny Kanell, comes on courtesy of Bet Online. Check out betonline.ag for updated college football playoff semifinal game and champion lines along with a plethora of college football playoff props. Danny, thanks so much. Maybe we'll swing around for the Natty and catch up with you again.
Awesome. I'd love to. Good luck to your Ducks.
Thanks, amigo. We'll catch you next time. That is Danny Kanell. Again, check out betonline.ag for updated college football playoff semifinal game and champion lines along with a plethora of CFP props. A big shout out to our boy Jimmy for hooking us up with Danny Kanell. We might have to send Danny an email and say that you and I are not Ducks. Look, we just work here, buddy.
No,
we just work here. He had to talk about Miami. We got to talk about the Ducks. Let's put a pin on this. We'll come back and then kind of react to some of the things he had to say there. Cristobal, Chambliss, I'm kind of most interested on some of the stuff he said there. We'll do that next. 105.1 The Fan.
a.m.
We'll continue our John around the NFL in about 15 minutes. We'll get to the Houston Texans, our Houston Texans. Lots of times I say that jokingly. I mean it. We are both giant Houston Texans fans on this show for the way they play football. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes or so, but just kind of put a pin in our conversation with Danny Kanell and continue our conversation. We'll get to some more Miami Ole Miss real breakdown in the Big Nooner. Also, a reminder, it is a 10 Toes Down Thursday. 503-864-6326 is the fan text line or over on the YouTube. Things we have to unequivocally say yes to or no to, depending on how we feel. The Ducks are in the Peach Bowl, and the fan is hitting the road with a watch party at the Thirsty Lions Washington Square location. Dirt and Anthony Newman get things started with Ducks Game Day presented by Coors Light on location at noon. That's right, we are bumped tomorrow. We're only a 2-hour show tomorrow. We'll toss it to those guys out there. Join the fan Friday, January 9th at the Thirsty Lions Washington Square location for the rematch of Oregon and Indiana in the college football playoff semifinals. Something that I found interesting, Danny, as we were talking in the break, Kanell's kind of on board with you about Dante Moore, and we kind of chatted about this a little bit. I am enamored with the upside of Dante, which is probably why I tend to wax on a lot more about Dante than most people do here, even at the fan or just kind of in general. But he's kind of with you. I can see the throws that he makes. I can see the talent that he has. I just need more of it.
Yeah.
We talk about with Blazers, like with Shaden Sharp, like the talent's there. I want consistency.
And that's the name of the game. And it's Danny asked us, and you answered kind of what generally it feels like, and he has the capacity. But real quick, like, what's Dante Moore's best game against not a FCS team? Like, off the top of your head, does it come to mind, or do individual moments come to mind?
Well,
the throw up the middle against Iowa, the throw to the outside to Malik Benson. Like, there's like 5 or 6, like
the DeCorian Moore in Penn State.
Yeah.
The Northwestern game, I thought he was really good in the Northwestern game. They turned out to be a better team than we thought, but they're still pretty middling. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I thought he had a good game against USC, but not perfect. So what is the game of Dante? I don't know that, but I've seen enough of those little snippets that get my pants a little tight.
Look, this isn't Julian saying where you ask him not to.
God, no.
Don't screw up and be prolific against bad teams, because with the exception of Indiana, like that game obviously is what it is, but he didn't really have bad games, but he didn't have against above bar teams. He didn't have great games.
And I think that's something that should not be understated. That
he didn't crap his pants.
Even though he didn't have great games, what's his worst game? What's Dante's worst game?
Probably Wisconsin, but that's also that weather was a complete and utter disaster.
Take away from that, I mean, he wasn't terrible against Indiana.
I think that this kind of struck me a little bit as you guys were talking to Danny Kanell there, and perhaps this is unfair in one direction or also the other. But Dante Moore sometimes this season, like watching what he did against Tech and whatnot, and I don't know how many balls he threw directly into the chest of a defender, but it's almost like diet Sam Darnold experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's actually, I'd agree with that.
So, because you get your ups, and his ups are great, like you said. You'll get that throw every now and then, once or twice a game, where you're like, oh my gosh.
Because let's forget that throw that he had against Iowa in that game. He was 13 of 21 for a $112 and a pick.
Yeah,
like outside of that throw, he was bad.
Right. So I just that one kind of struck me. I was like, I think that might be
again weather and all those things, and Iowa and all of those kind of things. But like, and it was unfortunate that he had the Wisconsin Iowa games back to back. But against USC. 257, 2 touchdowns, pick, okay. Washington, he was good, 286 and a touchdown, but
I also
didn't really go off.
I also think that it's twofold. One, I think if we're going to critique Dante for not being great, we can't critique him for not being not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
And also, I talked with Dirt about this kind of off the air, just trying to figure out, is it a Will Stein thing? Is it a Dante Moore thing? Is it a slow start, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, it's all of it. So I think some of it, too, is against these teams that Oregon was better than, but not by the Oklahoma State, Oregon State, Montana State, Northwestern margin, the Iowas, USCs, Penn States of the world. They didn't – Texas Tech, I would argue this, too. They don't need him to be crazy. And I think I wish we had Danny on longer, Cannell on longer, because I want to ask him about Dante and Fernando as college quarterbacks. I feel like sometimes we are so enamored with these guys as NFL prospects that we want them to play like NFL quarterbacks now. And sometimes, look, we're not Julian saying guys now on this show.
No, going forward, sure.
But they were in the playoff, and a lot of people thought they were the best team by just having a quarterback that doesn't screw it up. And I think that, and we were worried that Dante was going to have to play a perfect game for Oregon to win this game. And now we've had two people, Tyson Alger, the local guy, and Danny Cannell, the national guy, both tell us he doesn't have to be perfect. He's got to be sharp.
Can't make mistakes.
Can't make mistakes. And I think that is something that we have to realize, that might be who Dante is as a college quarterback now.
Super high-level game manager?
Yeah, basically.
People hear game manager and they think it's backhanded.
Not anymore.
It's like, it's not, man. Don't make mistakes.
And maybe we need to stop thinking about Dante and Fernando and Ty and DJ Lagway and Julian Sayin and Bear Bachmeier throwing 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, because it just doesn't exist in today's college football.
I think, too, that, despite being projected already as like a top 5 pick in the draft, it's amazing how much people and how real the possibility seems that Dante could return next season to get himself a little bit more seasoning and get himself more ready for the NFL. And I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, considering the way that he arrived at Oregon, transferring there, knowing that he's going to sit for a season behind Dylan Gabriel and sit and soak it all in and absorb it. And so I think there's a real shot he comes back next season and tries to get himself more NFL ready.
I mean, I would. Honestly, Ty Simpson, he declared I would come back if I were Ty Simpson. If I'm Fernando Mendoza, hell, dude, I might come back too. I mean, it's too late now with what Indiana's done in the portal, but I think we saw a very, very great quarterback class a couple years in the NFL. And almost all of those guys, sans J.J. McCarthy, were ready.
Yep.
Michael Penix, battle-tested. Drake May, not on a great team, battle-tested. Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy. Bo, 2-year starter, Heisman finalist. These guys were Penix, transferred, went to a natty. These guys were battle-tested. And, I mean, Fernando... Say Fernando goes to a natty or Dante goes to a natty, you could say they're battle tested, but they just don't feel the same.
Well, they don't have the number of starts.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Like Bo Nix was the quarterback with the most starts until Dylan Gabriel passed him last year.
And some of that's COVID year of getting the extra year. But
it's like
there's a lot of snaps.
Penix, experience.
This ain't Trey Lance.
No.
This ain't J.J. McCarthy.
No, or Anthony Richardson, where he's got 13 starts. Like Dante has 17 career starts. Like he's just not that. Like the difference between Dante and Bo, I mean, you're talking about 40 more starts?
And Mendoza has more starts, but those Cal teams were not very good.
No, but it's still live bullets.
It's still live bullets.
Like that's for me, that's the difference. And I think that's what you see Mendoza look not even a little bit, but significantly more confident and comfortable at times.
I just want this game to start. I'm tired of talking about this game.
Tomorrow.
I just want to watch football. I just want to watch football. Let's jump back to the NFL. We'll continue our walkabout of the NFL playoff teams. Up next, the Houston Texans. Maybe the nastiest defense we've seen in a long time. Can this offense get them to the promised land? There's the Kahuna with sports.
Hamburgers, the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, college football playoff semifinals begin this afternoon. The Fiesta Bowl in Glendale. Number 10 Miami, number 6 Ole Miss. It's a 4:30 kick on ESPN. Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland will start at 4 o'clock. The Hurricanes are 3-point favorites. And we're a little over 24 hours away from number 5 Oregon and number 1 Indiana in the Peach Bowl. That'll be 4:30 kick on ESPN tomorrow as well. Our coverage right here on the Fan Sports Network begins at noon. Ducks game day with Dirt and Anthony Newman live from the Washington Square Thirsty Lion. The Ducks are 3.5-point underdogs. CBS Sports' Chris Hummer reporting former Florida quarterback DJ Lagway has committed to Baylor. Over in the NFL, Dolphins announcing they fired head coach Mike McDaniel after a 7-10 season, their second straight losing campaign after making the playoffs in 2022 and 2023. In the association, the Trailblazers have won 4 straight, 6 of their last 7. They are off today before hosting the Rockets tomorrow. Portland 18-20 on the season, 9th in the Western Conference. And MLB Network's John Heyman reporting the Mariners and Randy Arozarena have agreed in arbitration, $15.65 million. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe Fisher and Rashad Taylor. Saturday mornings at 9 on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
We'll have Web Gems next. Everybody's favorite. One more point with Dante, fellas, is Oregon hasn't asked him to carry the team. Oregon's top 10 rushing team in the country for yards and YPC. It's true.
It's
true.
It's certainly great that they're not missing two running backs then.
I think we acknowledge that. I think we are very aware that this Oregon team is a very balanced squad. That's kind of why I mention it. Like, I really wish we could get the NFL narrative out of our head, because I just want to watch college quarterbacks to be great college quarterbacks. Who's my favorite college quarterback of all time? It's probably Tim Tebow. And every time I say that, somebody goes, yeah, but he sucked in the NFL. And I was like, I never mentioned the NFL. I'm talking to you about quarterbacks I enjoyed watching play. We're having a conversation about Kobe Bryant in the break. There are lots of people that are plus Kobe, minus Kobe. I will admit, I love Kobe because I love the brand of Kobe. I don't know if he's the greatest basketball player of all time, and the stats might not back it. But sometimes you just got to love. Sometimes it's okay just to love brands and love players.
No.
Fair? Can't count on much, but you can't always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. We've continued this trip around the NFL looking at playoff teams, and somebody who's been kind of a constant in and out of the playoffs, and that leads us to the Houston Texans, okay? Tomorrow, that leaves us with the Philadelphia Eagles, the Buffalo Bills, and the Los Angeles Rams, as I feel those are the three teams with probably the best chance to win the Super Bowl right now, outside of the Seattle Seahawks of teams playing this weekend, and maybe the Denver Broncos as well. But let's get into this Houston Texan team. Danny, I feel like you were on the jump of this defense a lot earlier than everybody else. I joined you a little shortly behind that. This team has an identity. This team's identity is DeMeco Ryan. It's a little bit kind of
tearing your head off and spitting down your neck.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit, as I've kind of said some things about Dan Lanning over the years. You know, I think Dan Lanning's identity was a defensive guy, but Dan Lanning's identity now is intensity. Mm-hmm. And I think DeMeco's got that on an NFL level at a very high level. His offense is not as good as his defense, correct? Okay? Yep. It's not even close. That defense is probably the best defense in the NFL.
What's funny is the Seahawks, because of the last game of the season, edged out the Texans in points allowed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just got them.
But there's something that DeMeco has done, and this is why former players are such a fascinating concept to me as head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say that offensive guys are worse than defensive guys, or linebackers are better than wide receivers. I don't necessarily mean that.
I'm pro linebacker as my head coach.
But there is something about the Mike Vrabels of the world and the DeMeco Ryans of the world that really give you that intensity that doesn't seem manufactured. It's hard to convince professional athletes to run through a brick wall for you. Let's take J.J. Redick, for example. How are things going in L.A. with the Lakers for him right now?
Well, I think it's because J.J.'s just a genuine red ass.
I understand that, but DeMeco, like that that college vibe works in Houston.
Look, I can't remember what podcast it was from, but they were talking about Patrick Willis and how insane he was as a player. And I told you this one yesterday. We were talking about linebackers off air, and the quote was, "I want my middle linebacker to eat his steak with his bare hands," and that's what Patrick Willis did. They were talking about a dinner one time. Patrick Willis just grabbed the steak off the plate with his bare hands and just ate it. It was just. He's the pure unadulterated psychopath. I want my linebacker to be mentally unstable. And that's how I want, Mike Vrabel is mentally unstable. DeMeco Ryans is mentally unstable.
Lawrence Taylor is the most mentally unstable.
Look, if you want to flip it over to the NBA, Ime Udoka is unstable.
Yes, he is.
If you're going to be this coach that's going to be a defensive-oriented psychopath, I want you, like Robert Saleh, mentally unstable.
Bite kneecaps.
Yeah, Dan Campbell, mentally unstable. Be that guy. Look, I know I'm all, rah-rah, high tea, lunatic coach. That's what I want.
And that's all guys who like football.
Yeah.
And that's all brand for you.
Like football. They like me back.
Yeah. I don't want Sirianni. I don't want to water the bamboo. Mm-hmm. I want to run through a wall for you. Like Kyle Whittingham. I want to run through a wall for you. You know what I mean? Like that's Lanning. I want to run through a wall for you.
Yeah.
Like those are the kind of coaches that have always, for me, that I have loved. But they also have a roster that wants to kill you. Daniil Hunter is going to kill you. Will Anderson is going to kill you. Tuotu is going to kill you. Shakir is going to kill you. Like that entire defense, there is nobody on that unit you're like, you're a bitch.
You
know what I mean? Like, everyone wants to kill you.
I've seen mock drafts that have them taking Amari Washington from the University of Oregon in the first round. Does that not fit the brand? That fits the brand. Let me put some things in perspective for the Houston Texans. They are 12-5, finished second in the AFC South behind the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have 5 losses. 3 of those were the first 3 weeks of the season. Okay? 3 weeks later, they had another one. 2 weeks after that, they had another one. They are the hottest team in the NFL right now. They rattled off victories against the Jags, Titans, Bills, Colts, Chiefs, Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, Colts. Not the toughest, but this team is flying right now. CJ Stroud is healthy. This offense can go. And I've said this. We said this in the middle of the year when they started to come on. I don't need CJ Stroud to be Patrick Mahomes. I don't need him to be Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. I need some semblance of a quarterback, and this team can go very, very far. And I think CJ's picking that up. Offensive totals over the last few weeks, 40 points, 23, 20, 38, like 38, 40 points. The offense finds moments where they start clicking. Can they be consistent? That's going to be the potential downfall or the biggest question.
And remember, those losses they had to start the season, those losses to the Rams, the Bucks, and the Jags, it was 14-9, 5-point game. 2019, 1-point game. 17-10, touchdown game. And then you lose to Seattle by 8, and you lose to Denver by 3. I mean, and what?
It's impressive.
3 of their 5 losses are on the road.
You blew out the Ravens on the road. You handled business against the Jags at home. That game against the Bills, remember? That game reeked of Josh gonna do this, and Houston said, nope, no thank you.
I mean, they're tested. They are tested. Full out. They are.
I think they're the scariest team in the AFC.
I think I want to agree with you. I vacillate between them and the Jags. Just to talk about, like, I factor in so much, not just the season, but like how you're playing going in. And I know we haven't really talked about the Broncos at all as the 1 seed, and we haven't really talked a ton about the Seahawks as the 1 seed, but it's like Seattle, Jacksonville, Houston are probably the 3 hottest teams going into the playoffs. Would you agree?
I would agree. And Denver should be on that list, but that problem is that offense just seems so clunky at times. Like, Houston's offense seems kind of MIA. It doesn't seem clunky. Like, when the Broncos offense does not execute, you're kind of going, why? When Houston doesn't, you're kind of like, they have issues.
Their offensive line isn't good. Their wide receiver core is beat up.
CJ's been beat up all year as well, concussions, etc. They're the team I don't want to play.
I mean, defensively, I know the Seahawks ended up with the number 1 scoring unit defense, but that Houston defense, it's different. They want to kill you. And there's just something about that. Like, when you watch them play, it feels different. Like, when we watched the Oregon-Texas Tech game in that first half, the way that Texas Tech team was hitting Oregon, I don't think Oregon had been hit like that by a front 7 all season.
No, I don't think so.
Iowa beats you up, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But that front 7 for Tech was just mauling them.
And I think you just have to hope, if you're a Texans fan, that you're not Texas Tech's offense.
Yes.
Because even though that defense
That's why I said that there was a similarity between Tech and the Texans.
Tech's defense was otherworldly, and never once did I think Oregon was going to lose that game. They will take on the Houston Texans will take on the Steelers. That is the Monday night game. Look, Aaron might have it in the tank still. He's one of the smartest QBs to ever play. One of the most God-gifted. Sure, he's over 40. He's slowed down. I don't know how I'd pick against the Texans in this game.
Neither.
I think it's going to be a long day.
I've rode that wagon all season.
Aaron's going to have to be perfect.
Yeah, he's going to do really, really good.
And DK's going to have to show up, and I like this defense. I like the Texans. Give me the Texans. When we come back, it's Web Gems. I want to retire the GOAT. You got a long way to go, brother. We'll get to that next. 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan. Sometimes it's good.
Aw, I've interrupted happy time.
Sometimes it's bad.
No, son of a...
It's Web Gems.
What'd you do?
The Firm of Harris and Meringue on the Fan Sports Network. 105.1 and 1080 The Fan.
All right, this is Web Gems, everybody's favorite. Do it every single day at 11:45. Give you a little preview of the big nooner. We'll get into that Miami Ole Miss game. Nobody's believing in Trinidad Chambliss, huh?
I mean, I do.
Just been proving doubters wrong all year in the game for Mario. It's also a Thursday. That means we got 10 Toes Down at 12:15. Make sure you get those in. 503-864-6326. That's 503-864-6326 or over on the YouTube chat. Statements that we unequivocally have to say yes or no to. No wishy-washy. No fence sitting. 10 Toes Down. We'll get to that in the big nooner. But today's Web Gems brought to you by what is it? Monkeys and Glory Holes?
Smiles and glory holes.
This comes to you from Jera. Jera has made some statements. I guess he's finally decided to start thinking about retirement. Okay. Probably should have done that about 10 years, buddy, but this
15,
is his statement. This is just too funny. This is his statement on retiring.
My goal in life is to retire as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. That's my goal. To be retired in the NFL as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. We've got 3. How many more do I have to go as a single owner? Bob's got how many? 6? So I've got
work to do.
Got work to do. I got work to do, but at least I'm up to the second rung in the ladder. But my goal is to have retired and won the most Super Bowl as an owner.
That's Jerry Jones, who would like to pass Bob. If you're not familiar, he's talking about Robert Kraft.
How nice is that to be like, yeah, old Bob.
Yeah, that whole little New England thing that went down there, you're just kind of behind that. Last time I checked, the Patriots have won Super Bowls within the last 20 years. In fact, they win playoff games in the last 20 years as well. This is a crazy old man.
Oh, he's gone.
This is a crazy, crazy old man.
How old is he now?
We do not spend a lot of time talking about the Cowboys on this show, as they used to be written on the board behind me of things we do not speak of.
83. He's got city miles.
You know, there is a lot of...
I certainly thought he was in his 90s.
When I listen to Jera, he reminds me of my grandfather, my mother's dad. He is from Georgia, grew up on a peach farm, and he always, Pat, you ever had a Red Bull? He talks to me like that. It tastes like piss, but it's good for old guys like me. You know, Jerry sometimes sounds like my wonderful grandfather. I love this goal for you as a retirement goal. Hey, Jerry, my retirement goal is to be a voter for the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Okay? I'm going to go out on a limb, Danny, and I think there's a better chance I become a voter than he does passing Robert Kraft.
I mean, of getting one more.
Yeah. I mean, even if Robert Kraft sold the team right now, okay? Let's say the Patriots sell. He would be number 1? Would he be tied with, is the Hunt family still on the Chiefs?
Yeah, but I feel like that's changed hands at least.
Yeah,
right?
has it?
You can kind of work your way around that. I don't know.
What about the Maras in New York City?
I got 2.
Were they weren't around for Parcells?
Yeah, they were then too, yeah.
So
I got 3. So he's on the second rung.
He's on the second rung, tied with a bunch of people. Okay. I mean, like,
how about win a playoff game first?
How about draft like an adult?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
no, they draft really well.
Sometimes they non-skill position players they draft really well. Now Dak was a find in the 4th round. There's no doubt about that. Dak was a great find, but you know he gets a little Al Davis sometimes in the skill position. They've been excellent at the offensive line over the last 15 years or so. Tony had good offensive lines. Dak's had good offensive lines. I think you need to focus about drafting before you start focus about Super Bowls. I think you need to focus about hiring competent head coaches because...
And coordinators.
Jason Garrett seems like a real nice guy. I like him on TV. I think he's okay on TV.
Good luck with Matt Eberflus. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, Parcells, the game had kind of passed Parcells by the time he showed up there. We'll see about Brian. We'll see about Shoddy.
It's just a lot of yes men.
It really is. And, like, when you see him sit up there in that press conference, his kid looks old.
Yeah. I mean, Jerry looks like Skeletor.
He does. And he's, like, talking to the microphone. His like,
hands are shaking. Yeah, it's...
Like he's me after a Tuesday night. Damn, dude.
It's tough.
Oh, that is Web Gems. We do it every single day at 11:45. Coming up next is the Big Nooner. We got a football game tonight. It's about damn time, dude. I'm getting antsy in these games.
There you go.
I'm getting antsy in these games. All
It's
right.
a nice little standalone.
Ole Miss Miami tonight in the Fiesta Bowl. Who gonna party tonight? Big Noon is next. 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Jeff Rust here with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, college football playoff semifinals begin this afternoon with the Fiesta Bowl in Glendale. Number 10 Miami, number 6 Ole Miss. 4:30 kick on ESPN. Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland starts at 4 o'clock. The Hurricanes are 3-point favorites. We're a little over 24 hours away from number 5 Oregon, number 1 Indiana in the Peach Bowl. That'll be a 4:30 kick on ESPN tomorrow. Our coverage on the Fan Sports Network begins at noon. Ducks game day with Dirt and Anthony Newman live from the Washington Square Thirsty Lion. The Ducks are 3.5-point underdogs. CBS Sports, Chris Hummer reporting former Florida quarterback DJ Lagway has committed to Baylor. Over in the NFL, Dolphins announcing they fired head coach Mike McDaniel after a 7-10 season, their second straight losing campaign after making the playoffs in 2022 and 23. And the Trailblazers have won 4 straight, 6 of their last 7. They are off today before hosting the Rockets again tomorrow. Portland 18-20 on the season, 9th in the Western Conference. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the firm of Harris and Meringue. Weekdays 10 to 1. The Fan Sports Network. 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
He's a hoe. Easy ride, easy ride.
All right, 2 down, 1 to go here. Final hour, the firm of Harris and Meringue. Coming up after us, you'll get Duck Insider from 1 to 2, and then the Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson from 2 to 3, and then, baby, is prime time, 3 to 7 to take you all the way home. Bonus coverage tonight. You'll have recruiting with Andrew Nemec from 7 to 8 as well, giving you 14 hours of live, local, continuous, regional sports talk radio. Don't forget, you can enter to win a 4-pack of tickets to the 66th Annual Portland Boat Show, Thursday, January 7th through Sunday the 11th. Today is the 8th, and also Thursday. I am still confused. Check out the best prices, top brands, and compare hundreds of boats to buy, all under one roof at the Portland Expo Center. Enter now, 1051thefan.com, or grab 2-for-1 discount coupons at pdxboatshow.com. Coming up after us, we'll get into 10 Toes Down. It's Thursday. We do it every Thursday at 12:15. You send in your questions, and we will answer them unequivocally, without any wishy-washy. All 10 toes on the floor, 2 feet, palms, everything. No fence sitting. Got a couple in already. Take some more from you. We'll have some fun, because that's what we do here. That's Danny, I'm Patrick. We like to have fun. That's Rusty over there. He has more fun than all of us.
Probably.
He's less angry than us, I think.
No, wait till you get in a car with me.
I'm a little spicy right now, dude. YouTube's getting me all riled up.
I like it.
It's getting me all riled up.
I'm not having to do anything.
I just want to live in a world where if I critique your NFL quarterback, that doesn't mean anything about where they went to school. That's it. That's it. Just like I want to be able to talk about college quarterbacks that are great, and I don't care what they were in the NFL. Okay? Reggie Bush is the greatest college football player I ever saw in my entire life. How was he in the NFL? Doesn't take away from the greatest college football player I ever saw in my life.
There you go.
Fair? I knew you'd agree with that.
I'm in.
I know you're in. He got one of them statues. He was literally the greatest player I've ever seen. Like, who's better than him?
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Who's better than him?
Nope.
Like, I really want to hear somebody tell me. Tebow was fun. But from like an energy level, wow, give me Reggie.
There hasn't been appointment viewing in my lifetime more than every time Reggie Bush touched the ball.
I don't think so. It's like Shohei Ohtani baseball levels. You know, maybe Mike in basketball, stuff like that. The Miami Hurricanes will take on the Ole Miss Rebels tonight in the Fiesta Bowl, 4:30. I believe you can hear all the coverage starts at 4 o'clock over on our sister station.
About damn time.
9:10, right? I am so ready for this. It's Thursday night. We get a giant college football game. The matchup predictor, according to ESPN.com, has 57% for the U to 43% for Ole Miss.
Which is weird that the spread is 3.
You know what, Danny? I have no idea how this game's going to go. I think that's what makes this whole playoff very exciting right now, is that, you know, we'll obviously make our picks on Indiana, Oregon tomorrow and kind of wrap a bow on how we feel that game's going to go. But this Final Four is just incredible for me from a entertainment standpoint. Because I think Miami is the better team of Ole Miss. But what did I just get done talking about? Guys like Reggie Bush, guys like Tim Tebow. Sometimes it just takes Vince Young. It just takes a guy to make it happen, and that's Trinidad Chambliss. Of all four teams, the one like magic guy. Look, Dante's great. Fernando has a Heisman. Carson Beck's the vet. But of the magic, it's Trinidad Chambliss. And I think everyone in America outside of the state of Florida, and maybe half of you in the state of Florida, are rooting for Ole Miss. And I think we almost kind of moved past the lane stuff a little bit.
That's kind of why I asked Danny the question that I asked him. Like, why isn't Ole Miss getting the credit they deserve here? They have one loss in the season on the road at Georgia in a game they probably should have won.
Yeah.
Like, Ole Miss should probably be undefeated.
They should. And they would have been the 2 seed. Well, who knows what the SEC...
They're a top 4 seed.
Yeah, who knows what the SEC title game would have been, but they would have been a top 4 seed.
Yeah.
I think to Cannell's point...
Let's do that real quick.
Shoot.
Ole Miss, Georgia is the SEC title game. And Ole Miss goes in that game undefeated, and they beat Georgia in Georgia. And Georgia beats Ole Miss in the title game. Does Georgia go ahead of Ole Miss?
Your top 4 seeds are Indiana. I'll bet you your top 4 seeds are Indiana,
Ohio State,
Georgia, Ohio State, Ole Miss.
So that's your top 4. Okay.
So right now you'd have Ole Miss, Indiana, if chalk goes.
Okay.
I just think the SEC bias would bump one of those teams above Ohio State because Alabama got boat raced in that game.
But why would you give it to Georgia over Ole Miss?
Because they won the SEC title game.
I guess.
I know. I don't like it.
But
I think it's what
Ole Miss
they
would
do.
have gone into Georgia and beat Georgia at home.
Agreed. But they would have lost in the game that matters at the end.
But to your point,
I don't like it, but I think that's what TV would do.
That's fair. But you're right. If you're talking about like the players in this game, Chambliss is the guy.
He's the guy.
And that isn't a take away from Lacey or Wallace. Like, those guys are studs. The other guy is Malachi Toney.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Miami does have their own guy.
He's a true freshman. He's, it's not Jeremiah Smith last year, but he is electric every time he touches the ball. Now, he could have a game where he has 80 combined yards rushing and receiving, and be a factor. But he can also be a guy that breaks a game wide open because of his talent and his athleticism.
If you have not seen Malachi Toney and to compare him to the Oregon Ducks, he's kind of a mix of De'Aaron Hill and Decorian Moore.
Yeah.
Of just dudes in open space that can create serious problems.
He's terrifying.
And I'm gonna lean Miami in this game. As much as I want Ole Miss to win this game, I'm gonna lean Miami in this game, and I think this is probably what Cannell was kind of getting at when worrying about Chambliss having another just one for the books game. Is that front line for Miami is nasty.
Yeah, there's a difference between Texas Tech and Miami. Texas Tech has got a better front seven.
Mm-hmm.
Miami's secondary is just drastically better.
And I think where Miami misses in the comparison of Tech is they don't have the linebackers Tech has, but they got the front, the front 4. They got those guys and their DBs. It's that middle game that's going to be tough. And that middle game is probably where you're going to create your spy for Trinidad Chambliss. I say, if Chambliss has a bad game, it's either he's making poor throws or that linebacking core, that Pete Golding's linebacking core has figured out how to contain Trinidad Chambliss. Because that boy just plays football, Yeah. He's got Johnny in him. He's got Johnny backyard in him.
And it's
just
fun.
Running around and throwing the rock.
And that's where you're going to have to see Miami be disciplined. Whether it's Ruben Bain, whether it's Messidor, whether it's Keontae Scott, their third leading sacker in Keontae Scott is a DB that they bring off the edge a ton.
Mm-hmm.
They've just got dudes that put pressure on you endlessly. And like I've jokingly said this: look, if the Raiders can trade back and to the somewhere between picks 5 through 8 and pick up some more draft capital, Ruben Bain, come on down. David Bailey, come on down.
You are so high on Ruben.
I mean, Bain and Bailey are they're just absolute freaks. Like this, when you look at Ruben Bain, he's 6'3", 275, and he just plays with an insane motor, and there's just nothing you can really do with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to be interesting is, Carson Beck has, for the most part this season, with the exception of those 2 games, has really limited his mistakes.
And that's where I was going to go next. It's like Chambliss has the excitement, the wow factor, the ability to turn this game into an electricity dumpster fire and create real big problems. I think this game lies more on the hands of Carson Beck than Trinidad Chambliss, because I think Chambliss might go out there and make a mistake, but it's not killing Ole Miss when he does. When Carson Beck makes mistakes, it kills Miami. It kills them. It's like Dante has that mistake against Nebraska. It's not the reason they lost. They didn't lose because Dante turned it over. They lost because they got punched in the face. When Carson Beck turns the ball over, they lose games.
Yeah, I actually thought it was interesting the way that Danny phrased that was they haven't needed Carson Beck to do much.
Sure haven't. No.
But if you look at Carson Beck's, if you look at his season, you just kind of look at his game log and how productive he was. Against Notre Dame, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Here's the other thing. He's only been sacked twice in a game or more. Actually, only been sacked two sacks is the most he's been sacked in a game. He's been sacked 3 times. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games where he hasn't been sacked. That Miami offensive line is very good.
Well, it better be. It better be. Who's your head coach?
You're not wrong.
I don't, and that's, we can finish up there in head coach. Look, Pete, power of God to you, my amigo. Playing house money here. All right. Good luck to you next year, bud. I hope you guys squeak this out, because next year might be a tough year at Ole Miss, if you catch my drift.
Sure.
With everything that's going on. I would like Mario to win this game. I am not a Duck fan. I have no skin in this game. There is something about Mario Cristobal everywhere he's been, anytime I've ever seen him, that I just don't love.
He's got too much testosterone.
He's got too much tea for me.
Yep.
And it's not like rah-rah tea. It's an arrogant cockiness tea that I don't like. Mostly because I just haven't seen it.
You just don't like the tea.
Backed up. I don't like the
You're
tea.
anti-tea.
Anti-tea. Look at me, dude. Feel these hands.
Soft.
Never worked a hard day in my life.
My calluses are coming back, and I love it.
If Mario wins this game, I'm going to give Mario some flowers.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing.
It'll put him, because Dan Laney gets kind of pumped into this world already, despite not winning the big one and having some bad losses on his resume. But everybody knows that Dan is a great coach. There's no doubt about it. Mario should be there. But I think a little bit because he's unlikable and a little bit because he's kind of blown some games and it's his fault they've blown games. So I hear Cannell when he says that he doesn't need it, that he's proved a lot of the doubters wrong.
I mean, knock off Ohio State and A&M.
You knock off Ohio State, A&M, Ole Miss, and go to a natty against Indiana or Oregon, I'm going to have to shut the hell up. I'm going to have to.
The path there is pretty tough. And as a neutral looking at this game, I'm okay with either team winning. I just want a good game.
I just want a good game
That's what I'm like. I think this has the potential to be a very good game.
Are you sticking on your Ole Miss train?
Yeah, I'm going to ride him.
You going to ride Chambliss?
Yeah, I love Chambliss, man. I just do. He's one of my favorite players in the country.
I'm going to take Miami in this game. I'm going to take Miami. I'm going to take a clean Carson Beck game.
Miami's the better team.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I don't think anybody's doubting that. It's the Ole Miss story.
It's fun.
Indiana has their own story. Why can't Ole Miss have theirs?
That's what I want to see.
Also, if Ole Miss wins, Lane gets another check for $750K.
If they win the title, he gets another $1 million.
So sad.
Good work if you can find it.
It's so sad to root against Lane, but that means you're rooting against this really fun team.
I won't do it.
We'll come back tomorrow and break down this game, how it all goes down. Guys, have your fun out there. Shoot me with what you think on the fan text line, 503-864-6326, or over on the YouTube chat. Speaking of those, it's 10 Toes Down. We do it every Thursday. Get those in. Get those in. We'll go there next. 105.1 The Fan.
The Oregon fence sitting here.
Sooner or later, man's got to pick sides.
This is 10 Toes Down, where the firm picks a side and is all in.
They know where I'm at. 10 toes down.
On the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM, 1080 AM. The Fan.
All right, 10 toes down, baby. Must be a Thursday. That means we're almost Friday. Do this at 12:15. You all get to decide how this bad boy goes. If we run 2 seggies, we'll run 2. If not, we'll just do 1. And please, do not send your political thoughts on the fan text line.
You can send them, but
not gonna work here anymore. Yeah, we're not gonna touch that. 10 toes down. I'm terrified my Liverpool team is gonna lose this Arsenal game in the pouring rain in London.
Hate to see it.
Hate to see it. Here comes Rusty in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't care.
You should, dude. Make your life so much happier. Watching sports.
I'm good.
Dude, here's a 10 toes down take I will give you right now to start off, okay? This just popped in my brain. It is so wonderful and refreshing to watch a high-level sport that I care about that affects my job in no way, shape, or form. It is so relieving, relaxing, because, look, we don't have real jobs here. Like, this is a lot of fun, talking about sports and getting in arguments with y'all on the YouTube chat and, having good discourse. And, I sit next to Danny Marang every day. Like, there are challenges, but for the most part, it's really fun. I love you, buddy.
It happens.
For the most part, it's really fun, but there are times, Danny, even you know this. You love NBA. You love the Blazers. Are there not days you're like, oh, God, I don't want to do this?
There's 2 years of it.
Yeah, it's just kind of natural sometimes to not want to do stuff. That's why I love my relationship with soccer. Because this Arsenal-Liverpool game is my world right now, and it means nothing to my job. Nothing.
That's fair.
Because you guys don't care.
No.
I mean, I know I just talked about it, so it is. I'm bringing it in. But if I never brought it in, nobody would care.
It's the simple things.
Yeah.
You can just be not neutral, but like there's a different vibe with it.
It allows me to remember why I love sports. Because there's no nobody wants anything from me. There's no expectation.
Yeah, you just get to enjoy it.
10 toes down. You send them in. We answer these questions unequivocally. No fence sitting, no wishy-washy. 10 toes down and get it. Let's see. Where should we start? This one comes in from Bob. 10 toes down. Would you still draft Scoot over Amen today? And do you still think Scoot has more potential than Amen?
No. And?
Littering end.
Yes, hindsight is great.
You boys like Mexico?
Look, with Scoot, the bar is the floor right now.
Yeah, I
Amen's
know.
A stud.
Well, I wanted to bring this up because I think it's something to remember. Amen Thompson is dope. Okay, Amen Thompson's awesome. I love him as a player.
Would you still draft anyone before Giannis, or would you take Giannis?
And that's where I was going to go. Like, Luka went, 7th overall? Fifth overall?
Yeah. Trey went in front of him.
The NBA draft is a very, very difficult draft. Dare I say, NBA and baseball are the toughest to predict. NFL, obviously, quarterback can be a little tough, but
at the top, you always have more luck.
Look, dude, if you draft Joe Thomas number 1 overall, I think we all knew he was going to play for 15 years. There are some things like that. Now, the NBA has Wembys and Flags and LeBrons and Kyries and guys that you just know are
for every
be
Joe
tough.
Thomas, though, there's a Gallery, Robert Gallery. Out of Iowa. The Raiders took him, and he was supposed to be, what Joe Thomas was, and he wasn't.
Wandering down the street at a Super Bowl, like the NBA is just so difficult. In hindsight, of course, I'd rather have Amen Thompson. But we were chatting about this on the YouTube chats earlier. I think as awesome as it is to have Dame and Drew, assuming when they are both fully healthy and what this team could look like, does it run out of a little room for Scoot? Sure it does, but Dame and Drew ain't going to be here forever. And I think when you draft somebody 3rd overall, whether you like the pick in hindsight or not, you have to find out what you have. Look, it didn't take long for Blazer fans to turn on Zach Collins. It really didn't.
No.
It took almost immediately. And some of that is old Shea being a little stick in the muddy.
Well, he tried to play him as a power forward.
But But I think when you draft a guy that high, and this goes for Shaden too, this goes for Donovan as well.
Any lottery pick.
When you draft a lottery pick, you have to see what they have. And to just want to bail on Scoot, I think would be a malpractice. Am I concerned? Sure. Am I concerned he can be the scorer that we thought we needed when we drafted him? The Blazers needed when they drafted him? I don't think he will be that.
The ask is very different now.
Exactly. This team is different, dude. The emergence of this guy named Denny Avdia has changed my perception of this team. When Shaden Sharp was drafted, my thought, even going into this season, it's like Shaden's got to be my one. He's got to be my one. He's got to be my primary scorer. He's the most athlete of athletes on the team. He's got to get this going. He's got to be the guy. Guess what, guys? New information creates new opinions. Denny brought me new information. Now I have new opinions. Now my question is Denny still a prolific scorer when Drew comes back to run the offense? Because I think there's a lot of benefits Denny has by running the offense from a stat box line. Do I think Denny's all of a sudden going to be a bad player? No. But new information creates new opinions.
Sure. I mean, look, Amen, the thing about him is the shooting profile. He's never going to be a shooter. And the likelihood of a guy being what Amen has been as a defender, as a playmaker, as a rim threat, and being as productive as he is with everyone knowing that he can't shoot, it was slim to none. Like, he was always going to be really good, but his chances to be great were going to be more limited. Now he's turned into like supersized Andre Iguodala.
Iggy is a pretty rad player to have.
But if you're taking a guy in the top 5, top 4, do you want Andre Iguodala or do you want the potential that you saw in Scoot Henderson? Look, I think if you put a gun to the Blazers' head, they would have rather had a Brandon Miller.
Oh, for sure.
Because
they wanted Brandon Miller. Well, I mean, we all know what we wanted at number 1, but it wasn't available.
But, like, look at how this team has been built. They wanted size and length, athleticism, all those things. But Amen's lack of shooting at all. It's not like Amen's like, he's an okay shooter. No, he's just absolutely torrid shooter.
And I know that there's a lot of, like, kind of talk about, drafting Scoot might have been the straw that breaks Dame wanting out. But I think
you draft anyone there not named Wemby would have been the same.
I think you're doing malpractice if you're not thinking like Dame might ask out. I might need a guard. We went through this whole world of like,
are you going to turn the offense over to Amen Thompson right out of the gate? No.
Stop drafting guards. Stop signing small guards. Then it came to a point where it's like, we kind of need a guard. Look where we are now. We need guards like I need hair.
Then the consensus was you take Scoot because of his profile coming out.
10 toes down. Would you rather lose the ability to lie or believe everything you're told?
What's that movie with Ricky Gervais where he invented the lie because nobody could? God, it's 2 movies today I pulled up, but I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, he the whole world you couldn't lie, and then all of a sudden one day he could lie, and because nobody could lie, everybody believed what he said. And so it became this whole thing, and I think that's basically the premise of this. I'd rather lose the ability to lie than believe everything I was told.
I'm right.
It's not even close to me.
I'm right there with you. Lying is sometimes a very beneficial thing. I don't lie a lot. I live in the white lie world.
Sure.
Just because of my own personal situation, my friends, family, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. I think it's very dangerous to believe everything you were told. We kind of made the joke about don't send me political stuff because I'm not going to talk about it on here. I mean, you're looking at it. You will show me something and I'll be like, I saw completely different. I will say something to you. You're like, that's not true at all. The concept of believing everything you are told, whether it's the news, your politicians or
whatever it is,
or the ESPN talking heads telling me that the SEC is great when I'm looking at it and it's not. Your parents, how many things have your parents told you that they 10 toes down on that you were like, that wasn't really right,
no,
Mom.
not quite right.
I think you live in a dangerous world to believe everything.
Yeah, no, hard pass on that.
Last call for 10 toes down, 503-864-6326 or over on the YouTube chat. Got a little more in here. Might get to another Blazer one on here if we want. Something in here about Danny Cannell as well. And make sure you don't decide to jump out of a moving vehicle, but I understand your pain there. More 10 toes down next. But first, that's the Kahuna over there. He's got sports for you.
You ever had a big Kahuna burger?
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, the college football playoff semifinals begin this afternoon with the Fiesta Bowl in Glendale. Number 10 Miami, number 6 Ole Miss. 4:30 kick on ESPN. Coverage over on 910 ESPN. Portland starts at 4 o'clock. The Hurricanes are 3-point favorites. We're a little over 24 hours away from number 5 Oregon and number 1 Indiana in the Peach Bowl. That'll be a 4:30 kick tomorrow afternoon on ESPN. Our coverage on the Fan Sports Network will start at noon. Ducks Game Day with Dirt and Anthony Newman live from the Washington Square Thirsty Lion. The Ducks are 3.5-point underdogs. Dolphins announced they have fired head coach Mike McDaniel after a 7-10 season, their second straight losing campaign after making the playoffs in 2022 and 23. The Trailblazers have won 4 straight, 6 of their last 7. They're off today before hosting the Rockets again tomorrow. Portland 18-20 on the season, 9th in the Western Conference. And MLB Network's John Heyman reporting the Mariners and Randy Arozarena agreeing in arbitration for $15.65 million. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan.
All right, this is 10 Toes Down. We do it every single Thursday at 12:15. A little bonus one for you today. Yeah, might get enough in. We'll see how we go. 503-864-6326. This is a fun one about being a kid. 10 Toes Down. I was 22, just out of college, living in the Pearl, walking to the strip club, because that's what you do down there. On my way, I saw a big line at a bar, and after chatting to people in line, Weezer was doing a small, intimate show that there would have been room for us to get into. What would we do at age 22 with the decision to keep walking to Cabaret or get in the Weezer line? Amigo, I'll go first on this. This is quite easy for me. I grew up a Weezer kid. The Blue Album was, I remember the older kids listening to the Blue Album, and I was like, well, I guess I got to get on this so I can be cool. And
Pam Anderson in the music video, right?
What's that?
Is Pam Anderson in the music video?
I don't remember the music video.
Is that what it was?
Which one?
Or
Say
they were
It
like
Ain't So, the sweater song?
Yeah,
Buddy
I
Holly?
think it was Say It Ain't So. They were like shrunk down on top of her.
I don't remember the videos for it. I love Weezer. And Amigo, what you got to realize is Weezer ain't playing till 2 a.m. Them strip clubs are open till 2 a.m. And they serving till 2 a.m. So, my amigo, you stop and wait in line.
No, I'm thinking of Lit.
Because the strip club is going to be there later. Come on, guys.
Yeah, you can hit the strip club any night.
Look, the most overrated phrase I've ever heard in my entire life, and if my wife is listening right now, she's going to pull her hair out when I say this because she'll be like, God, you're exhausting.
Well, I think that dancer really likes you.
The most overrated... That's funny. That was funny.
Step into a Slim Jim.
From the top rope. The most overrated statement I've ever heard in my entire life is you can't have your cake and eat it too. Bullsh. Okay? I am living proof. I spend every single part of my day trying to make sure that not only do I control the ingredients in that cake, I get first bite and it's all my cake.
Selfish.
I know, dude. That's the real me, dude. That's why you don't want to know the real me.
Yeah, see, you're also gluten-free.
I am not gluten-free.
Coward.
Look at this fat ass. I am not gluten.
Gluten ain't calories, dog.
Gluten is my homie. Bro, I worked in beer for a decade.
That's true. You're out here drinking non-alcoholic beer.
Hell no. Even non-alcoholic beer. No, I don't think non-alcoholic beer has grain in it. Well, it has to. I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
I don't know how they get the alcohol out.
I just think you're a bunch of quitters, but that's just me.
That happens.
I probably shouldn't say that. If you are sober because you need to be sober, I fully support you. We'll give you any kind of support.
There's your 10 toes, coward.
Where are you on this, Danny? Are you a Weezer guy? Are you going into the Weezer?
Nah, I mean, no. That genre of music, not really my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not against it.
It's kind of like alternative 90s kind of stuff.
Yeah, like some of that stuff's okay, but I was never really into like Weezer, Lit, Blink, the post-punk type stuff. We were talking about this yesterday.
41.
Yeah, like,
I was never into it
some
either.
of it's okay, sure. Like there's a couple songs I like, but like albums, nah, it's never my thing.
I was kind of into Green Day a little bit.
I liked Dookie just because I was a dumb
Dookie.
kid and it was like, Dookie. Yeah, but like...
And Nimrod was good too.
But, I mean, for the most part, not really my... I was always a metal, new metal, rock guy.
10 Toes Down, you respect Danny Kanell as a sports commentator personality. Second question, where does he rank as a college QB amongst former QB sports commentators' personalities? I've been thinking about this for a little bit. The quarterbacks that I see on television, does Herbie count?
Yeah, Herbie counts.
Okay, Herb Street, Jesse Palmer, Greg McElroy,
Tebow.
Tim Tebow,
Leinart.
Matt Leinart, great call there. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else
In the college game.
in the college game.
Yeah.
The NFL game is
RG.
RG3. RG3. As far as Kanell goes, I like Kanell in talk format.
Yeah, when he gets more one way.
He used to spend a lot of time with Ryan Russillo and Scott Van Pelt. I really loved
those guys.
I really loved those days with him. As far as on a game, look, I'm out on McElroy.
Yeah.
Like full on out on McElroy. I have not consumed a ton of Tebow.
I think Tebow's great.
Is he? I have not consumed a ton. I love Leinart. Yeah. I really enjoyed Leinart on the Big Nooner. I wish Reggie was still there. I guess we'll deal with Mark Ingram. I like Leinart on TV. You know, I think Jesse calls a good game.
Yeah.
I think Jesse's fun.
But Jesse's different.
He's also like...
He's so much more like prim and polished. It's Good Morning America,
he's
The
cool.
Bachelor. Like
He's cool. He's good looking. Yeah. He puts gel in his hair. Like, I like Palmer. McElroy, I'm over. And that's from I've enjoyed RG3. He called a Wazoo game this year that I caught. RG3 I think is good.
The way
on play-by-play.
you giggled when RG3 came into Media Row.
Oh my God. I don't.
The swagger was on 11 billion.
I've never been more starstruck in my entire life, and I've seen some cool people. Yeah. I was once digging records and looked up and saw Eddie Vedder. When RG3 walked into the room at Media Day at Army Navy, I was very, very starstruck.
There's an aura. There's a swagger to him. Like he walks into a room and he controls it, man.
I would say maybe like a Mark Sanchez, but is that too deep of a cut?
Ooh.
Ooh.
The problem was Mark was good.
Mark was good. I wanted to keep this kind of more more college than NFL because like on the YouTube chat, Romo is 1,000 times better as a commentator than he was a QB. That's actually kind of a hot take.
Yeah,
I think some people really don't like him as a commentator. I think Romo is fine.
Also, he's a really good quarterback.
I think he's silly, and sometimes there's room for silly.
But Danny's the best in the long form. For sure.
I love Danny in the long form. Yeah, I do too. And I'd love to see Matt Leinart in long form a little more. I'd like to see RG3 in long form a little more.
Leinart does on his pod.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I've seen
He's fun too.
I've seen RG3 be interviewed and stuff, and I think he's got good stuff. But as far as doing a show,
I actually
would love to see more.
I like RG on calls.
I
He's
do
fun.
Too.
It's
he's also really new at it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to trash somebody who's
but
brand
he
new.
has fun with it and doesn't go as far as Gus. You know what I mean?
Ugh, I'm so out on Gus. Yeah. Joel Klatt, former quarterback.
There you go. Yeah, Klatt's great. You're talking about long form. Klatt's probably the best.
Klatt might be the best at both. He's really good too on the call, and he. At first, I didn't really care for Joel Klatt. In the Cowherd days, it felt like they were both trolling each other, and I just kind of got obnoxious.
Yeah.
But once I stopped consuming him through that medium and started kind of consuming Klatt on his own, I've come around on him a lot, and he's a great too.
And I love Cannell. I always thought he got an unfair shake
at ESPN.
Yeah,
I agree too.
Like people I don't know. It's like Cannell's always been great. What do you mean?
I never saw him as a quarterback, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
I only really know him as TV, and I've also really enjoyed him. Let's see.
I mean, of those quarterbacks, he's not better than Tebow. He's not better than RG.
Brady Quinn coming in on the text line?
Absolutely not.
Why? Because he's Notre Dame?
No, I just don't like him at all on the call.
I've consumed some of his radio shows.
I'm not a Brady guy at all.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
I take McElroy over him.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm just out on McElroy.
Yeah.
McElroy's just got that Ryan Clark vibe to me.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Where it's it was really cool. I like that you were coming up. I enjoyed listening to you, and now I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not a Brady guy at all.
Let's see. There was one more Blazer in here. 10 toes down, Blazers development will take a step back when injured players come back, including Dame next year. I've kind of mentioned that I'm curious. I've told you this off air. I don't know how much I've said it on air. I'm curious about Denny's role in the offense when Drew comes back. I don't think it's going to stunt his growth by any means, but I'm curious because, as I've said, he has so many more opportunities because he's really embraced the point guard and he's kind of running the offense. I know this is 10 toes down. I don't think anybody's growth is being stunted. I will 10 toes down on that. But I am curious what this offense looks like. I am. Mostly with Drew. We've seen it with Jeremy. We know they can play off each other.
Yeah.
But when a true point guard, Hall of Fame level point guard starts running that offense, I'm curious what Jeremy, Shaden, and Denny's, and Donovan, even offensively, what their roles look like.
I don't think Denny's is going to change much. He is a superstar
He's creator. A creator, yeah.
He is a power wing creator in the same vein as Giannis, Braun, Luka, Tatum, a power wing creator. Now, he may not be as good as any of those. I mean, he's putting up Tatum's line right now. But, he's that good. You're not going to see a ton of change. Mm-hmm. The difference is, instead of kicking out to Caleb Love, he's kicking out to Drew Holiday. Or, when he does toggle off the ball, it's not Caleb Love initiating. It's not Shaden Sharp initiating as much. Mm-hmm. Look, Shaden can do some things, but when Denny was off the floor last night and the lineup, it was Caleb, Shaden, I can't remember who else was out, somebody else. And I'm just sitting there going, they had 4 or 5 straight possessions of late clock, couldn't really figure stuff out. And it's yeah, you need an organizer out there. And Denny's not the best organizer, but at bare minimum, Denny's just going to go, screw it, I'm going to put my head down, collapse the defense, and figure this out.
And that's kind of why I'm really excited just to see a true point guard run the system, let guys free up a little bit.
Yes.
A creator, the true test of a creator is creating with ball and without ball.
And Drew can toggle on and off. That's what makes him. That's what makes him so special.
Because I think what's been great about Denny and the emergence as a scorer, and Shea being consistent of late, and Donovan stepping up as well, is Drew doesn't have to score.
No.
And that's a body that is.
Remember, Drew before he went down was averaging 18 and 7, very efficiently.
And that's just the smartest basketball guy on the court who doesn't have to score.
And he doesn't make mistakes.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, super nice to have.
That is 10 Toes Down. We do it every single Thursday at 12:15. Double Seggy today for y'all, because that's how you dictate it. We come back, closing arguments, send you on your way, 105.1 and 1080 AM.
The firm of Harris and Meringue is wrapping up for the day.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled.
Which means it's time for the closing arguments. Brought to you by Leskin Law. One-day divorce mediation. Peace treaties, not war plans. Visit LeskinLaw.com for more information.
You want answers? I want the truth!
On the Fan Sports Network.
You can't handle the truth!
105.1 and 1080, The Fan.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Closing arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit LeskinLaw.com for more information. Coming up on tomorrow's program, we'll recap Miami Ole Miss, and however that goes down, we'll finish up our thoughts.
Abbreviated program.
On Oregon, Indiana. That is correct. We're only 2 hours tomorrow, because then we'll toss it down to Washington Square for our boys Andy Dirt Johnson and Anthony Newman. They will handle the pregame coverage of the Peach Bowl before we send it to Jerry Jorge and Dusty Hurrah down in Hotlanta, and then kick at 4:30. Catch all that action right here, 105.1 The Fan Sports Network, home of your Oregon Ducks, Danny. We also have the Philadelphia Eagles, the Buffalo Bills, and the Los Angeles Rams to get to tomorrow. I thought, do you think those three are probably the three outside of the 1 seeds that have bye? Those are the 3 teams this weekend that have the best chance?
Probably.
To win a Super Bowl, on paper at least. Yeah. I know we like our Houstons and Jacksonville's, and I am going to hate on the Bears until they probably win a Super Bowl and then poop on my face. But yeah, so we'll save those guys for tomorrow. Some stuff to clean up today that we missed. Dolphins fire Mike McDaniel.
Mm-hmm. You won't be without a job long.
No, Rusty just told us that he's already interviewing the Lions. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Von Campbell,
reached out.
I mean, you saw the loss of Johnson, and there's no doubt that McDaniel is a great offensive mind. Who's running OC duties in San Francisco? I just assumed he'd go back there.
I mean, that or if Saleh gets a job, because the Ravens have reached out to Saleh to be their head coach.
Oh.
Could see those
Saleh
two.
at Baltimore with McCarthy or McDaniel.
I was just noticing, too, 3 different bird mascots have reached out to interview Robert Saleh. You got the Falcons, the Ravens, and the Cardinals.
Are we going to go another round with Robert Saleh?
As head coach? Yeah, I think you deserve it because you went to the Jets S show where coaches go to die.
I know, it's always so hard to tell if you're a good coach or not. Now, Adam Gase, we knew.
Yeah, we knew.
That was really obvious. But sometimes it's really hard to tell if you're a good coach on a bad team, you know? Like, wasn't Schottenheimer running the Titans there for a second? No. Who was the guy that was the coach at the Titans before they turfed him this year?
I mean, before that, it was Vrabel.
Oh, I know. But then they had somebody this year who they fired.
Yeah. Oh, God, I can't even remember his name.
It's a legacy coach, is it not?
I can't remember.
Legacy coach's kid? God, why can't I remember either?
It's not Kubiak.
No.
God, why can't I remember? It happened earlier in the season, so it's just totally escaping me.
Not going to work.
It's also the Titans, so I don't care.
Yeah. It's hard to always tell with some of those guys. Let's see here. Curt Cignetti once told somebody that he is happy sometimes. Makes me think of, I'd be a lot happier.
He said it stone cold as you can imagine.
I like to think of it, I'd be a lot happier if you quit asking me stupid questions.
It helps.
I bet you he's a lot of fun. I bet you he's a lot
of fun. I'd like to have let's sit down with Sig.
Have a beer and a smoke and a pancake.
Yeah. No, Sig's a good hang.
I wonder if it, what would you want to talk to Sig about? I mean, obviously football, but like, what would you get in with Cignetti about? Kids these days? I bet you he's got some great opinions on that.
I bet he's just got some good stories.
I bet you he does. I'd like to know what kind of music he listens to. Is he a country music guy? Is he classic rock? Is he a jazz guy?
He's definitely a Kendrick over Drake guy.
Dude, I think most people with a pulse are Kendrick over Drake guys.
Damn right.
Is he What if he came out of left field and was like, I actually don't really listen to music. It's not my jam.
I mean, that's
I would judge him.
True sociopathic behavior.
I would judge him.
What nothing to do with that.
I think that's a really tough world to live in if you don't listen to music.
Yep, hard pass.
Brian Callahan.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Brian Callahan. Yeah. You're asking on the text line where at Washington Square? That'd be the Thirsty Lion.
Thirsty Lion.
Washington Square location. You can go down there and
Good
say
spot.
hi. I went to the watch party last week. Sat with Joe Fisher and a couple of our sales bros down at Grand Central Bowl. That was a good time. Washington Square, a little deep for this guy.
I mean, it's on my way back, so maybe I'll pop in there before I head to the Blazers game.
Talk some ass to dirt. Tell him Dante sucks, bro.
Make sure I pick Indiana on the way out.
I don't know where I am tomorrow. What do you think I'm going to do?
You're going to pick your Ducks.
What?
We've talked about Indiana being the best team in the country for the majority of the year, and you're going to pick the Ducks.
It took me by surprise, I must say.
I don't think so.
We know.
I'm leaning Indiana today. I am.
Leaning.
Let me ask you a quick question. I don't know if we'll get to it tomorrow. If Indiana doesn't win a natty, does this story go bye-bye?
No.
Is it still, do we still recall this as one of the great stories?
Yes, it's one of the worst programs in the history of the sport, like on the precipice of winning a title.
This lives in the Boise State world?
Yes. It's crazy.
I hope so. I would hate.
And they're not done. They're not just going to fall off the map.
Well, that's the difference between them and Boise State, is they got the money and the game is different now that they have the ability. It was too hard back then to stay Boise State at the top, you know. In college basketball where there's bagmen, you can be a Gonzaga or, you know,
and there's less players.
A Creighton or a Wichita State, and you can stay at the top. You know, you can kind of manufacture your schedule, et cetera.
But no, it doesn't go away. And they're not going away anytime soon, especially with Cuban funneling money.
On the text line, Coach Sig, tell me about your daily hygiene routine.
That's probably a little too personal.
Is he a boxer brief or boxer brief guy?
Just free.
That would be the best.
Just letting it hang.
Well, I told you as he's walking up to the Rose Bowl, he's got this quarter zip on. He's wearing no shirt underneath. He's got the like the thin, like blue tinted sunglasses hanging from it, with his with the head down, cocked, like looking.
He's got a little swag to him.
Got a little
swagnetti.
Got a little Joker face to him, you know.
Oh yeah, he does.
The big smile and
he's
kind of the
Jack,
eyebrows.
The Jack Nicholson Joker.
Yeah, the Jack Nicholson Joker in him.
No, I'm here for it.
Do you think? You know what would be fun to do with Cignetti? Watch Miami Ole Miss with him.
Ooh, there you go.
Live. You know, obviously he'll go back and look at tape later.
Sure.
But I'd love to watch it live with him.
That'd be fun.
Even if he looked at me and he said, "Hey, bud, you can take a seat right here. Don't say a word. If I swear to God, if you say one thing,
I'll kill you.
I will kill you, and you will be outside." Okay? But yes, take a seat.
It'd be fun.
Is there any water here? That's it. Get out.
Get out.
Get out.
I gotta pee.
Closing arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit LeskinLaw.com for more information. Leskin Law's one-day divorce mediation, peace treaties, not war plans. We will catch you all tomorrow. Enjoy the Fiesta Bowl tomorrow, and we'll wrap up the Peach Bowl as well. Tonight, the Fiesta Bowl. We'll wrap up the Peach Bowl tomorrow. For Danny Meringue, that's Jeff Rust. I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I'd do.
Bye.